he's going?
Huh?
So he's going?
Yeah. Yep.
Got the Redneck Yacht Club going there now.
Redneck Yacht Club.
We do that sometimes.
Suppose you guys don't have a boat.
My father-in-law does. One of my uncles did. So we just like time together, stay in the over there, that cove over there. That's the best swimming spot over there.
Where all those boats and everything are?
Yeah, the cove.
Nice. So they have like a little town beach over there too?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, man.
We got the best fishing spot here.
Yeah. Okay, everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Undo record. There we go. Let's start from the beginning. That'll help. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beautiful Barbarians podcast. My name is Chad, here with my faithful co-host Yogi. Back again. How are you?
Doing all right, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah, how about you?
I can't complain. Another day above ground. All my fingers and toes.
That's good.
You know, everybody's healthy and happy. I don't have COVID. I don't have monkeypox. I don't have Marburg disease. I don't have polio. So I'm just trying to.
You have the rest?
What's up?
You have the rest?
Yeah, it's like Pokemon.
Oh, okay. You know,
Um,
polio's making a comeback.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Haven't had one in 9 years. All of a sudden, we got a case now. So, human race has got that going for it.
How are you?
And
How's it going, Champ?
And of course, we have the man who's been voted 5 years in a row the nicest person in jiu-jitsu, Champ Peralta, with us. Also the Filipino phenom and probably maker of the tastiest ethnic food I've ever had.
Well, not today.
Well, not today. No, we almost had barbecued deck instead, with a side of singed grass because apparently it was a
Got to get your fiber.
goddamn
Can you
disaster.
just imagine me in my kitchen? Oh my goodness.
I really hope you have a solid insurance policy going into that place.
I have a bad insurance company.
Okay, well, you may want to redo
I
that.
might want to do
Yeah,
that.
from
But
what I've seen today,
I'm
your
gonna have
deductible's
to.
going to be high.
But guys, thank you so much for having me here.
No, we're
It's a pleasure.
excited, man. As soon as we
It's
found
fun.
out that you were, well, I guess we'll
We've been
start
talking about
from-
getting you on for 3 months.
Yeah, and then when we found out that you were actually opening up a brick and mortar restaurant, we knew we had to get you on because we obviously want you to succeed so we can continue to eat the delicious Filipino cuisine you crank out.
Thank you.
For those who don't know Champ, it's what's you say it because I'm horrible at ethnic.
Chibok.
Yep. See, I would have completely fucked it up. I'd have been like, hey, he runs Chiba.
Everybody says Chibok.
Well,
Just Chibok.
Chibok.
There you go.
You
Chibok.
do have the accent on top of it. In the
Well,
word.
it's his word.
Chibok.
No, the written word. He's got the.
Like,
Over
what do you
go.
call that thing?
The accent?
You're the teacher.
I just said it's an accent.
Is that? No, it's not an accent.
There's the.
What do they call it in your language?
Chibok.
They probably.
No, the little
No.
mark. Not
Well, they don't. They don't have to have it because it's only in English that you're gonna have it to
Well,
differentiate.
no.
Yeah.
For instance, if you go to if you're speaking German, the two little dots are called umlauts.
German's English at this. Let's.
German's not English. That's why it's
pretty
called
much
German.
English. No, it's English.
Is it the syllabication? No.
It's a fucking thing over the letter.
It's an accent mark. I'm gonna go with accent.
Yeah,
mark.
So the thing I said, yeah.
but it's
Got it.
not really spelled as CHEEBOG. It's supposed to be TSIBOG.
TSIBOG.
Yeah, and everybody's gonna be like Chibog,
I was gonna say Seabog.
Chibog, right? But it's Chibog. It's a slang. It's a Filipino slang for eat or food.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And you can like reverse it sometimes. Some people call it bogchi.
And what's that mean?
Same thing.
Okay. So it's good for regular people and dyslexics, guys. But you start off.
I love your accidental like inclusivity that you just throw in there.
Hey, bro.
It's fucking great.
I am an
Agree.
accidental progressive. It's the best way to.
You could be a good freestyle rapper.
I could not, in any way, shape, or form. I would be awful at it. I am
I
good
think
with.
you can do it.
I'm
I
good
think you
with
can do it.
witty one-liners, and that's about it.
He's a half joint and 6 beers away from giving it a good shot.
Yeah,
That's true.
a solid, 16 bar.
I mean, I will attempt anything stoned and drunk. So you don't. I mean, you really don't twist my arm much. But when I was probably 25 years, 14, I found hip hop,
Okay.
and I was this little white kid in where the fuck was I? So it was. No, I was 16. I take that back. I was 16 because I moved out to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I found underground hip hop, and it changed my life. Funk Crusher Plus,
And
Little
Albuquerque,
Johnny
New
Goes to the
Mexico.
Hospital, like Company Flow, Mr. Len, Wu-Tang Clan, obviously. You know, I mean, you've got all the classics, but I found like underground hip hop, Black Star.
Okay.
Talib Kweli and Mos Def, Gangstar, all that stuff. I used to go, me and my friends used to go to this thing that was called Battle Lines, and it was a b-boy competition every year. It was this big b-boy competition every year in Albuquerque, New
There's
Mexico.
no fucking way you don't have some free verse tucked away somewhere.
I'm sure I
don't
probably
believe it.
do. I probably do. My 15-year-old, 16-year-old brain probably wrote some god awful garbage, but yeah, I'm sure it's somewhere. But we used to go to b-boy competitions, and at the end they'd always have like a headliner, like Murs or
Oh.
like some underground shit.
Nice.
And it was always, you know, that's what I did when I was 16, 17. You know, so I'd go and listen to Slayer, and then I'd go and listen to like underground hip hop. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this stuff is amazing. Like, listening to people do that freestyle off the top of it, it's
It's crazy.
it's mind blowing to me to have that quick. There's no pause between the brain and the mouth. You know, it's I think it's a very impressive skill to have.
It's impressive when people make that work for them instead of just sounding like a fucking idiot like most
Yes.
people do.
Yeah. True. No, most people don't have that filter between the brain. You're 100% right. But when they actually do it lyrically and it's impressive and it's amazing, yeah, it's very yeah. But enough about me and my aspirations to be an underground hip hop artist. I really want to.
We have our show title now. It's done.
What's that?
Your underground aspirations to be a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
It's not too late. I mean, you're
It's-
getting really good at audio editing.
It's never too late.
You know.
MC Jiu-Jitsu Viking or some silly shit. But so give me the rundown, the history, the backstory of Chibog, because you were just working in an office 9 to 5 up until what, 2 years ago,
Yep.
and then you got it in your head to just start selling Filipino food.
Yep.
Why?
I mean,
How?
I've been doing that in Chicago. Like the first time I had a desk job, because I've always been in the food industry. When I started, when I moved into Chicago, like I was working in a restaurant. I worked in the meat company, and then I found, I somehow landed in the IT industry.
Okay.
So I had a desk job, and then one day, like I have an extra, packed lunch.
Sure.
And one of my office mates was like, I'm too lazy to go out and buy food. I was like, here. And he was like, how much you want it for? I was like, $7. And the next day he was like, do you still have some of those? I was like, I don't bring extra lunch every day, dude. I don't know why that day I brought an extra lunch, but yeah, so that's where it started pretty much. I was like,
Like any good menu, you have to have options.
yeah, it was just like a marinated short rib, fried rice, and egg. And I put some like green onions on top of it. Well, it was marinated for 3 days, so it's really good.
Just simple though.
I like the dichotomy. He's like, yeah, all it was marinated, but it was really good.
It was, it was just a quick,
Anything-
simple 3-day marinated short rib rice, eggs with seasoning that I slow cooked for 7 hours under
What
the
was the
full
other
moon.
option? Did you
Nothing.
just bring 2 servings of the same thing?
It
or-
was the same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing because I thought like I'm probably going to be working longer, so might as well have it for dinner, right?
Sure.
So I
yeah.
gave it to him, and then the next day he was like, "You still have some of those?" He said, "It's really good. I would buy it from you, man." I was telling my other, because he was in a different department. I was telling my other office mates like it was really good.
Yeah.
So I was like, "All right, tell him I'll cook like probably like 4 tomorrow, and then just come with $7." So it's really kind of like sketchy. They come to my to my desk, and I'm just like giving them like packed lunch, and then they're paying
All I
me.
can think of
They're
like
doing,
is
like,
the kid
the-
at the fucking like middle school lunch table dealing out like
Yeah.
little sandwich bags of Oreos.
And I enjoyed it, and because I'm so used to like manual labor, and to be in the desk job, I'm just like, man, I'm getting soft, so
Yeah.
might as well do something on the side, right? So yeah, I mean, I told my wife about it, and then we were still in Chicago, and it's just in Chicago, like every neighborhood has a Filipino restaurant, so it's just like really hard to start there. But when we moved here, I found out there's only a couple of people who serve Filipino restaurant. The other one was actually gone. They closed out. They're the ones who did our wedding rehearsal. So I was telling my wife like, hey, like why don't we start something here?
There's an opening. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were looking around when we moved out here, like around 2018. I was just looking around. I found a food court. We were supposed to work with this guy, but then came 2019, pandemic hit. Was it pandemic? 2019, yeah.
2020.
2020, yeah. That guy just like disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
So
you telling me about that.
yeah, we were on pause for a while, and then on my birthday 2021, I said like, hey, I'm gonna open like 10 spots for people. Let me see how it works. So it sold out. It went well. So I was like,
That was when you say 10 spots, you mean you were going to take 10 orders.
10
And
orders.
then fill them. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna create a menu, and then I'm just gonna let them it's a family style menu, and I'm gonna let them order whatever they want. They can pick and choose whatever appetizer, the main dish, or sides that they want. And it comes with a dessert, the purple ice cream, the blueberry ice cream. You tried to with
Yeah,
the
that
fruity
was
pebbles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just realized, man, this is like a stoner dessert. Like a stoner.
Yeah. Purple ice cream with fruity pebbles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
anytime
much
you
so.
add cereal to
Right?
anything other than cereal, it's pretty much.
Well, we use
But it's not even ice cream because it doesn't melt.
Wait,
No. You're supposed to keep it cold?
yeah, it's supposed to be cold. It's ice cream.
Okay. Well, I didn't think it was. I thought it was
But
like some
usually
sort
we
of
would
purple
put
pudding.
Rice Krispie, like plain Rice Krispies on top of it, just to have a crunch. But
Sure.
I was like, hey, Fruity Pebbles. Right? There you go. But
Great
then again, yeah,
combination.
the first time I did it was really nice. Like I remember, but it was a really bad idea too, because I told people like, yeah, I'll deliver to you guys, and there was a couple of guys who I had to deliver in Central, down in Central, and one in Clifton Park. And I didn't know how far Clifton Park is. I was pretty new here. So I have to deliver there, come back here. And I still have 2 deliveries left.
Yeah.
And I have to prep and
Sure.
So it was a hot mess, but it still went well. I got a lot of good feedback about it.
Yeah, it's delicious. The food's amazing.
So
I mean, you kept it at 10 slots for your pop-ups for a while, and it was at the point where 10 slots would be gone within a day.
well, it was 10 slots at first, but I actually took I think 5 more.
Yeah, no, you squeezed me in. You gave me like a
Yeah.
slot 13 at one point.
Yeah, and then
I never got any slots.
I don't think I know you at that time too, but
No, you did.
You did? I did?
We were training.
Okay.
But yeah, I never got. The only way I've ever eaten your food
It's through
is
Clobber.
by proxy.
Okay. All right. So I was just wondering, now I remember you had some from Clobber.
That was it. That's the only time I ever had it, and it was absolutely amazing.
All right. Well,
Because the last time you came over for the podcast and left food there, I accidentally left it. Yogis, and he ate it all.
Was it good? Put it in tacos. Pretty good.
Tacos.
Yeah, like a tortilla.
Yeah, you don't say we, because I was.
Todd.
Oh, Todd.
We had the stuff that was left for me, and then 2 days go by, and was like, all right, well, still here. So.
But yeah, I mean.
So I was so sad when you dumped the charcoal because I was really looking forward to skewers.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
I don't care. I'm fucking with you.
I'm gonna have to like. I'm so glad your truck is like blocking this right now because my wife's gonna be like, "What is that?"
So once you did the pop up, and obviously you were selling out the pop up every time.
Yeah, but before that, I was talking to my wife, and my wife was like, "Well, you don't want to do it in our kitchen. Nobody should be doing that." I did that just to see.
Sure.
So I found Carmen's in Troy, and I talked to the owner, and she was like, "Give me $100. You have the kitchen every Friday." So I did it. I think we
She only wanted 100.
Yeah,
Wow.
they were really nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were lucky, and she knows.
I don't think you understand, or maybe you do, but I don't think you appreciate how nice Champ is and how well he can get it over on people. Not get over in like a negative sense, but I don't think you understand how far it goes with people. Like, charging him an exploitative amount would be like kicking a puppy in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the thing is, it's like, you got to remember, this is like through the pandemic, so they're not open all week. They're only open for like brunch, like Saturdays and Sundays. So I talked to her like, "Hey, you guys are not open on Fridays. You do your prep on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Can I rent your kitchen?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." So that's where it all started, pretty much. Having a real commercial kitchen. So I was able to bump up from like 10 to like 20 spots. And once I put that out on Instagram, that's gone within like a couple hours.
Yeah.
So, and the beauty about it too is just like, I mean, not the beauty about it, I'm just like, I haven't had the menu out yet. And people will just like jump on it.
Right.
And then once you guys are all set once it's locked in, that's where I throw the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I like it too, because I'm not wasting a lot of food. You know what I mean? So I can just like make a certain amount of food of whatever is left is going to be for me. It's actually sometimes for the owners, because after I'm done with the whole thing, they come down and they're like, "Do you have any leftovers?" all the time. So yeah, I mean, that's how it started.
So what made you go brick and mortar instead of like a food truck? Because right now, like, food trucks are all the rage.
Yes.
Well, it's hard to get food trucks, right?
It is, and I wanted a food truck first, or a food trailer, but I feel like having like a satellite, because our concept is, it's made out of like, through the COVID, time, so it's how do I say this? It's just mostly like pickup. So I'd rather have a satellite, like a small place, so people can go and pick up instead of like a food truck. Plus, food truck is like, I think for me it's gonna be more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So
Why?
there's gonna be so much work to be done to like, and if you want to
It's a lot
buy
to account for.
Yeah, if you want to buy a food truck right now, like some of those food trucks that are like complete, setup comes to like $55,000.
And then you have to worry about permits every time you
permits,
go set up.
and then because you have to like, you got a different permit for Troy, you got a different permit for like downtown Albany. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. Plus, also too, if you have a food truck, you still need a satellite or like a brick and mortar, because you can't. I don't think you can prep in your food truck.
I don't know.
So yeah.
Justin turned me on to some dude, Orlando, who does pop-ups through Instagram. I picked up from him the other day.
Orlando Banana.
Yeah. And he was saying the same thing, that you can't have like you can't sit up in the farmer's market or anything without a brick and mortar store, because they have to verify where you're getting your goods. You have to verify how you're like cleaning and prepping everything.
Yeah, the health department is like the main character with that. You have to have
The main hurdle.
Yeah,
I got you. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Well, cool.
But dang it, So like I was speaking of food truck, like I was talking to my wife. I was like, you know what? Like 3 years from now, if we're we can like we're running really well, I would want to get a small concession trailer and call it bokok. Self-fried chicken.
Call it what now?
Bokok.
Okay, so that's not a Filipino word. You're just making the sound of a chicken.
Okay. And I sell fried chicken.
All right, well, I'm just making sure.
No.
I'm just making sure. It's not like the word for. It's not like the Filipino word for delicious.
It's
chicken.
also a Filipino word for chicken.
Is it really?
It's an international word, isn't it?
It's the sound chicken makes.
Yeah.
A lot of. I'm not going to go down etymology, rapid factoids, but that's how a lot of words start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how they went from bakak to chicken, I don't know, but
They chop their head. Bokok. That's the last thing that they would say.
no, I know. I understand where bakak comes from. I don't understand how they got to chicken.
Well, chicken sort of sounds like a clock, and then
Chicken doesn't sound like a clock.
They have the same phonetics.
They both have a C and a K in them.
Yeah, and then you factor in Germanic influences and Romantic influences, and then whatever other influences, and the word gets bastardized enough, and you get chicken.
Okay. All right.
That I might get a food truck for.
Okay.
That's what I sell fried chicken.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think you should.
I love fried chicken.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
I love everything.
I really don't know anyone that doesn't.
How did that become such a negative stereotype for black people?
Do you want me to answer that, or is that?
Yeah, no, I actually want you to answer that because it's delicious. Like
So,
when they said when grape soda, fried chicken, and watermelon are like this like horribly
So-
racist thing for black people. I'm like, I love all three of those things. How is this racist?
It came out after.
I'll let Yoga take it. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it came out shortly after the abolishment of slavery, which slavery is actually still illegal, but we're not going to talk about that one. Yeah, 13th Amendment doesn't actually ban slavery, but that's beside the point. So
Nobody has slaves though.
13th Amendment explicitly says slavery is prohibited except in the forms of punitive actions. So
prisoners.
which is why our country still allows for hard labor imprisonment.
Gotcha.
So that's why we can force prisoners to do hard labor and not pay them anything, or
Right.
pay them pennies on the dollar.
Right.
So yeah, 13th Amendment. But with slaves,
Slavery, in the layman's term, has been abolished in America.
Debatable. Anyway, so
No.
No, it's
not,
the same- it's the
not,
same
Not
thing.
debatable.
it's
We don't have black people out tilling fields in South Carolina
we do
for free.
essentially.
How?
If they're in prison because the
No, I'm not talking about
system,
prisoners. I'm not talking about prisoners.
you can't differentiate.
Yes, I totally can.
You can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
When it's slavery is slavery, whether or not it's punitive or not.
I'm
want to
talking about. I'm
answer-
talking. I'm
do you
talking
want to-
about.
do you want
no,
the
no,
answer
no,
about
stop.
chicken
No,
or
no.
not?
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's why this podcast doesn't have a time limit. I want to know. I can absolutely differentiate between chain gangs and layman slavery. We are not-
The
we are-
prison system is set up.
You're not going to get an argument from me about the prison system.
You're
I'm
not
talking,
even letting me finish the argument.
That is correct. I am not.
So therefore,
I am
you have
stepping
no idea whether or
all
not
over.
you're agreeing. Or
I
disagreeing.
like to preemptively agree.
You're preemptively disagreeing.
I also do that.
So you're really not here for an answer.
That's correct.
Okay.
Just like
so
most
do you
of
want,
America.
Do you want the answer to the chicken, or do you actually want to have this conversation?
I want to have both.
I
I,
just
want my
wanna-
cake and I want to eat it too.
I just want to sell fried chicken.
You stay out of this, Champ. This is not about you right now.
No, but the simple answer about the racist stereotype for chicken came out of same thing with the feudal system in medieval England. It was the rich always got the really lean, hefty pieces of meat, so chicken breasts, and that meant gizzards and shitty thighs and legs went to, because they were fatty and not very nutritious, and they had hard to get the skin and bones out of. So they went to the slaves or they were sold to people that had no money.
I get it.
Peasants or slaves or freed slaves. So, what do you do when you have nothing but shitty cuts of meat?
Which, can I
learn
interject
how
real
to
quick
season.
one more time? Just real quick, this has nothing to do with slavery or arguing with you. I just want to tell people, anybody who knows anything about chicken, and you'll agree with me on this, Champ,
Sure.
the least, if you know how to prepare chicken,
Yeah.
and if you really, like, enjoy chicken as a meal, you know that the breast is, like, the least appetizing.
Oh, it's
Oh,
awful.
nobody likes the boys meat.
Dude, if I will take
That's why there was a
chicken
fucking
thighs.
riot when McDonald's got rid of their dark meat chicken nuggets.
I don't
Wait,
even
hold
remember them
on.
ever.
There is
wait,
a dark meat chicken
I need you to
nugget?
get close to that mic.
There was a dark meat chicken
Yeah,
nugget?
wait,
in the,
what
in
was
the,
this?
in the late '90s, they made like when they got rid of the supersized fries and everything, or the I think it was supersized. Yeah, supersized fries. They made a point of introducing all white meat nuggets.
Oh, hashtag Black Nuggets matter.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know this.
I didn't either. They brought back the spicy nuggets. Those fuckers are delicious.
You know what?
But dudes, like if you're making a
But yeah,
dish and
'cause-
you're cooking a dish with chicken and you're not using the chicken thighs, you're not using the dark meat,
But like-
you're gonna have dry ass
Yeah,
chicken.
but that's the thing. Like really lean cuts of meat also don't hold seasoning well.
Yeah,
so there was
no,
really
no,
no
they
point in seasoning your meat. So you get cultures that have really shitty cuts of meat that actually hold seasoning well.
Yeah.
It's a bad cut of meat. Like you
Stop-
don't want to bite into something
Stop calling
fatty.
it a bad cut of meat. It is not a bad cut.
You know what the fuck I'm saying. Anyway.
No, if we're gonna differentiate
Holy
between
Let's
chain
just-
gangs and
let's
slaves,
just-
Which
let's-
one of us is the fucking autistic?
I have told you I'm autistic when I'm on shrooms.
Are you on shrooms now?
No.
Okay. So, but that's exactly it. Like you get like not lean cuts of meat
Yeah.
that hold seasoning well.
Well, the racist white guys aren't gonna get dark meat.
Plus, salt and pepper were a pretty expensive spices
I
compared
would
to
say.
other spices.
Yeah.
Did
And now,
random fact? Did you know that we bought before the whole
did you
beef?
take your fucking Ritalin today?
Yes. Before we bought the whole bead thing, I took a half dose though because I woke up at 9:30 and I don't want to be awake till 10 because I have to get up for work the next day. So I took the straight up shit, the 5 milligram straight shit. So I'm zooming right along. Anyway,
I think it wore off.
let me finish this.
Oh, you get to finish. This entire podcast, from
bought-
episode 1 till now, is about me not getting to finish. You're in the clear here, buddy. You don't have to worry about finishing. I'm the one that has to fucking fight to the finish line.
Oh, Yogi.
We,
We need Viagra needs to sponsor this podcast just so I can get a thought out.
we bought the southern part of the Manhattan Island for several handfuls of salt.
Define bought.
We gave the Native Americans several handfuls of salt to get the fuck out of the southern part of Manhattan Island.
Wow.
Yeah, was that their understanding of the deal?
Probably not. I'm not saying it was right. Anyway, continue. Salt and pepper were very expensive, and they were actually used as currency at one point.
Yeah, but the spices we consider today as essential flavor spices were dirt fucking cheap.
What are those?
Like, anything with capsaicin or, basil or bay leaves, things that got thrown into pot of jambalaya or, curry that brought out more flavor out of the fattier cuts of meat. So it became an essential part of, yes, ethnic cuisine, but what we consider black cuisine now, because that's what they had available to flavor quote bad cuts of meat.
Yeah,
And then you fry your meat. Why not?
sure.
If the only carbohydrates you have is flour, but not enough to make bread.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, they got it right. Fuck Whitey. Yeah, I don't understand the how it's becoming negative is bonkers to me. Like something so delicious should not be a negative stereotype. Like someone called me a fried chicken watermelon eating something.
That literally just came out of intentional
Sure, stupid white people.
racist movements.
Yeah, I get it.
Because watermelon was also super cheap and easy to produce.
That's delicious.
Watermelon's good with pork chops.
Watermelon's good with everything.
Yeah.
A little bit of salt too.
Yeah.
Apparently the Italians put like some kind of their version of feta cheese on it, and with some hot honey.
Okay.
It's really good.
Feta cheese and hot honey on watermelon.
It's like a different. It's not feta cheese. It's something.
It's a
akin to
flavor
it.
explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds overwhelming.
But if you use tagine, which we probably
Yeah.
sell in the streets, like they put tagine on it.
And they put it on mango too.
Yeah, mangoes.
Oh, yeah.
Pineapple.
Dude, tell you what, the Mexicans got the mango down.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the chile limon sprinkled across it. Oh,
You know.
so good. Well, now I'm hungry. Fuck.
I'm sorry about that.
You should be.
I just want you to keep in mind that I haven't made a single comment about it. So,
Well, he's trying to lose weight because Brian fat shamed him the entire podcast last week.
literally, just I sit down and he goes.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but
Fuck you. I sit down. He leans into me and he just kind of pokes my stomach and looks at me.
oh no, Brian, no.
He goes, you may be fat, but I'll still kick your ass.
I heard. I actually heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that. That wasn't Brian. That's not nice. Nicole, you need to put him in his place.
Oh, don't do that. Don't pull his card like that.
I thought he like pinched you, like you know how he pinches everybody.
He stopped doing that to me because it doesn't bother
Because you
me.
bit him. That's why.
I did bite him.
You bit him?
I left bite marks on him.
What, did that come up in the podcast?
They were rolling and he bit him.
No, but we talked about it in class that week too. The day, what was it, Monday or Wednesday? Yeah, I was rolling with him a while back, and he has me mount, and he takes his gi and he just leans over my face to like
Smother
choke me
you.
out or smother
Yeah.
me. And so I bit him.
Where?
And you know he doesn't wear a shirt, so I bit him on the stomach
Oh.
as hard as I could. And then
Did he tap?
no,
He
he got
tapped.
off me. He definitely got off. Definitely got off on me biting him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So many questions. so many questions.
I just
the
saw
best
your
part-
I just saw your eyesight like started
the
traveling.
best part is
like
that
you
he doesn't
started
listen
looking
to this
out into the
podcast,
water.
so I could just say whatever I want.
I'm gonna make him listen now. I'm like, hey,
But yeah, and then his wife posted on my Facebook wall, was like, "Can you explain why my husband has bite marks on him?" And I just responded, "Yeah, your husband's a cunt." And that was, she's like, "Okay, fair enough."
that really, you went from 0 to 60 on that response.
I wasn't wrong.
So, Chabog. Fucking hell. You're, so what's it, is it going to be like an actual, like, sit down, or is it going to be like a takeout counter,
so-
or what are we doing here?
So the main's gonna be takeout
Mhm.
because we can only seat 8 to 10 people. It's a small place, so 400 square feet.
Yeah, no, it's,
building.
yeah.
So what we did is we try to like save, you know, the whole counter to give a little bit of the diner vibe. Kept like 5 seats, and then we're gonna put counters in front of the window. Probably put in there 4 more seats. So, but it's gonna be mostly takeout. If people can sit down and eat, we would welcome them for sure. But that
But
place.
it's like diner style. It's like tall stools.
Yeah, tall stools, yeah.
You're not,
Yeah.
nobody's getting a 4-top in Chabog.
Are you going to be able to do what they've been doing in like Albany and Troy a lot, where they get the permit to just set up tables on the?
I can, but I can only
sidewalk?
like put at least like 2 tables out there, so I can put 4 more people outside when it's nice outside.
Where is it
Yeah.
going to be? Let's give us the location of this.
It's in 300 and a half Ontario Street in Cohoes.
300 and a half. What are you, Sherlock fucking Holmes?
It's I don't know, man. It's just what it
24 and 3/4
says.
Baker
There's a
Street.
300. It said 300 Ontario, but then when you put it on like the internet, like it auto populates as 300 and a half. So I don't
Okay.
know.
All right.
But yeah, I mean it makes sense because it's a small building.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
It's 'cause
300 and a half Ontario Street, Cohoes.
Cohoes. Yeah.
Okay. Chabog.
You're saying it right.
Well, I've had someone who knows how to say it say it to me. I can imitate great. You give it to me on a piece of paper, I'm like, I don't know. Good. I'm excited. What are you looking? When are you looking to open?
We're aiming for like mid-September.
Mhm.
Yeah, with all the work that needs to be done, plus with supply and demand right now, it's stuff like equipment takes like at least like 3 to 4 weeks to come in.
Yeah.
Especially the HUD system. So hopefully by the end of mid-September or the latest, the last week of September, we'll be open.
Yeah. Yep. How are you dealing with everything?
All right, everything's so fast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we talked about this the last time you were in class. We were talking about how you did probably the scariest thing for anybody else opening up their own business, whether it be a restaurant or anything else. You put in your 2 weeks at your 9 to 5 job. I mean, you took away that safety net. I mean, what was your thought process as you were going into that, where it's like, all right, I'm committing 100% to this. I'm not hedging any of my bets. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to set up.
Yeah.
The only way I can do this is if I get rid of the safety net, because there's not enough hours in the day to commit to both, and I want to fully commit to this. How do you deal with that pressure? Because that's got to be nerve-wracking.
It is very nerve-wracking, and I appreciate you asking me that question. I don't know, man. I mean, my thought process with it is just like, you just have to put in your work and be aggressive about things. Just
Like ripping off a Band-Aid kind of thing?
yeah, just let it,
Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. We're
Yeah.
doing this. I'm gonna.
rock out with your cock out.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say come back with your shielder on it.
But
sure, your penis works too.
You should always come back with your penis.
You should always come back with your penis or on it. Wait a minute.
No, but I you know what? It is a lot of pressure, of course. Like as you said, like I'm taking out that safety net. My wife still has her regular job for sure, of course, and she's going to be helping with the restaurant when she can.
I really like how Yogi keeps
Same
just
thing.
handing me the tall cans, and everybody else is having 12-ounce red
And I know
Stripes.
you.
I know.
I'll have
You're-
one of
you're a
those
good friend.
Maximus.
What is it?
The same thing that he has.
The big boys. So are you? So what's gonna? Okay. So I got questions, but I'll save them until we get to the appropriate point.
So about you coming home with your penis.
Or on
I
it.
do that every day.
That's good. That's
That's
good.
good, right?
That's good. That's good. That's very good. That means your priorities straight. It's
Right.
like, I got my watch. I got my phone. I got my wallet. I got my
Spectacles,
penis.
testicles, and wallet and watch.
Exactly.
Them too.
Make sure it's
I
still
love
Filipino.
their new album.
That's my dad's favorite expression.
What's that now?
Don't,
It was-
and don't drink gin. It's a thing with
yeah.
his father. Like they connect over their hatred of gin.
Yeah.
And I find that so amusing.
My dad,
So endearing, actually. Not
Yeah.
amusing. I find it endearing.
my dad would have these little witticisms, and one of them was anytime we would be leaving, he's like, spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. Make sure you had everything. 'Cause those are the only things you really needed.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Good.
So you're cutting. You have a wife. You have 2 kids. You have a mortgage. You have the classic, white picket fence.
Is that the American dream?
Yeah, I mean it's you own a nice piece of property. You got a nice family going. You're married. You're happy, and now you're gonna go out on this venture where it's this is my perspective of it. I enjoy the podcasting thing I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I enjoy this, but I don't have a risk in this.
Right.
If this doesn't work tomorrow, I'm out $1,000,
Right.
but I'm not ruined. You know what I mean? My house is gonna get foreclosed on.
It's nice
Right.
living you, buddy.
And
My in-laws.
Oh.
those are your in-laws?
Yeah.
All right, just for everybody listening who's not going to watch the video, we are currently coming live from Snyder's Lake, and the in-laws just drove by on their boat, and we are recording outside on the
As-
lake. And
Papa T and Grandma T.
Papa T and Grandma T, shout out to them.
But yeah, I mean,
You
like,
feature them on your underground rap record.
I
There you
absolutely
go.
will.
but going back,
Mama T, Papa T, and Pusha T.
I
three.
was just about to say Pusha T. But yeah, going back, like with your question, is
Wait,
like,
hold on. Mama T, Papa T, Pusha P. What's up?
oh, look, he knows how to rap.
I told you, he only needs a couple more beers and he's there.
This guy right here. But yeah, I mean, like with your question about the pressure and stuff, having the family and the mortgage, and I mean, I came in this country as I'm an immigrant. Like I'm from the Philippines, so when I came here, I'm just like, you just got to do your best.
How old were you when you came in?
First time I was like 21, and then I come back home, and then I came back when I was like, 2013. I don't know how old I was. I'm 37 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good with math. I know I'm Asian, but I'm not good with math.
Mm-hmm.
You were
28, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I just lit up, but yeah, I mean,
Well, I was. Never mind.
but yeah, I came here, and like you just do what you got to do, establish yourself.
Yeah.
So I always had that mentality. Pressure is always there, but you just got to deal with it.
But you established yourself. You got everything copacetic. You had a comfortable setup. Dual income, 2 kids, everything's good. That immigrant mentality of kind of getting set, does it lend itself to taking the possibility of having to take a step backwards?
What's your contingency plan?
Yeah,
You're
well,
asking?
because I from what I hear from a lot of my friends who are immigrants to the country is, once you get set, you've made it, and you can kind of just coast after that, as opposed to really taking big chances. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
I don't know if people. I'm
I understand what you
Yeah.
like. I understand that question. Like I have a regular 9 to 5, and that's always the goal when you come here, because you would do a lot of odd jobs
Mhm.
for so long, and you just wanted to have a regular 9 to 5
consistency.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like security.
Yeah.
Right. But for me, it's just like ever since I started like doing the regular 9 to 5 in the IT industry, it's just like it's not for me. I don't
Not
find
fulfilling?
it not fulfilling at all. So, and I know restaurant or working in the kitchen is such a hard, it's a grind every day. But I enjoy it, especially with all the feedback that I get from the people,
Yeah.
the regular customers that we have, especially like Filipinos who always says like, oh, this feels like home. They always tell it, because
That's gonna be the best compliment ever.
every
for your
after,
food.
yeah, of course. After the pop up, I would ask the customers like, please let us know like how you feel about the food, so we can actually better the quality of food and our service. And most of the time, all of the feedback are really good. And if it's like somebody from the Philippines, they would just say like, there's a kid. He goes to RPI, and he just told me like he lives alone here, and he just says like this just like hits home. Thank you so much, and that meant a lot to me. And I'm just like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know it's going to be hard, but this is where I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. That's awesome. What made you come over here?
I just like.
None of your family lives here, right?
Well, my dad's side live in California, but I just like took a chance really.
You missed the West Coast by about 2,300 miles.
Yeah, but I
He's assuming he wanted to be around.
honestly,
Oh, yeah,
the first time I was here,
Assumptions.
I was in Mississippi.
Perfect.
I was in
Great
Mississippi.
place for somebody of a different skin color.
Right? So people were like, "What are you doing there?" I was like, "I don't know." I was just like, test it out, but I was like, nope, that's not for me. So I
None of them heard of the 13th Amendment.
So I came back in 2013 Chicago. It was like, because you know, I just want to try it out, you know, because it's so hard to like make it in the Philippines too, like the way the economy is, like, so for me, so I thought it was just like, you know what, why don't I just like, you know, go somewhere and then just like, you know, see it out.
Run me through that thought process, because that is such a massive undertaking, being like, I'm going to take myself out of my culture and I'm going to move what, several thousand miles
Yep.
away from everybody I know, all my family, and I'm going to plunk myself down in a foreign country. Because you're not,
That's an awesome question.
I mean, you're not from, you know what I mean? You're not an American citizen. You're not, or at that time, you know what I mean?
No,
You're not
I
from
wasn't, no.
the what is it? Guam? Is that our army base over there? Or
Yeah,
military?
Guam.
Guam. You're not from Guam.
No.
You know, it's like, I mean, what was that process? I mean, I can't imagine hitting 21, 22 and saying, man, I don't really have the opportunities I want here. Fuck it, I'm gonna pack up and move to Barcelona. You know, like it's or go crazy, or like I'm gonna move to Azerbaijan.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And just
Sure.
or Morocco, plunk
Sure.
myself down in a completely foreign culture. I mean, what is that? That thought process from the decision has to be absolutely bananas.
You know what? It's funny because my wife always asks me that, and she tells me like, you know, that adds up with, you know, with the adjustment in the culture for me. But I easily, you know, like blend in. So I can easily adjust. Like I didn't feel any of those at all.
Yeah, but you didn't know that before you came over here.
Well, I listened to a lot of Ice Cube, man. War and Peace, man.
Fucking Ice Cube, the great
Yeah.
equalizer.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Today was a good day. Didn't have to
Was
pull out
this,
the
was,
AK.
this, was this hardcore rap Ice Cube or hardcore punk Ice Cube?
Hardcore rock.
I'm thinking Ice T.
No, not Ice T. I know Ice T, but yeah. No, I'm
You
just
don't know
saying.
that he went into punk?
Sometimes you make my heart sad.
No,
It was
wasn't
sarcasm,
even punk.
but you know you did that, right?
No, I know he did.
Okay.
Body count.
Oh yeah, okay. But yeah, I
What the
mean,
fuck did I make your heart sad for? Because I reminded you that he made a decision
Because
like
you
that?
because you mistook Ice T for Ice Cube.
It-
My good days are over.
It's alright. I'm okay with that.
but
I
yeah.
know they're gonna push me.
Yeah, right?
Hi, Daddy, and hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
that's my
guys.
wife, Cindy.
Hi.
Winona.
Hi,
and
family.
Tallulah, Chad, Yogi.
How are you?
Thank you. You guys got a nice little setup. Aren't you like dying right now?
No, this is perfect.
Oh,
We're
good.
recording
Like
right
100
now.
degrees.
Oh,
It's so
are
nice
you
out there.
really?
Yeah, we are.
And I'm not editing any of this out because it's absolutely adorable.
You guys? Oh, nice.
We're on our way to swim at Grandma's.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'll see you guys in a
Bye.
bit.
Have fun.
Bye.
All right, love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't edit out family interaction.
That's awesome.
What was it? 3 episodes ago, my
Yeah.
daughter brought me ice cream live on the podcast. So it's like
And the week after, she
That's adorable.
gave us chocolate coins.
she didn't know they were chocolate coins either.
I know.
Like we showed her, she was like, she got like a prize basket from like a birthday party, and
Oh.
she comes out and she's giving us these tin foil. She goes, "Here, have some monies." And I go, "Runa, come here, check this out." And I peeled one back and I go, "It's chocolate. Don't tell Mama."
And she goes, I'm telling Mom.
And she
Oh
ran
my
right in and she
God.
goes, "Mama, they're chocolate." After we got done with the podcast, my wife goes, "What the fuck?" I go, "I told her not to tell. Fuck.
Oh,
Can't do anything around here." So yeah, we keep all family interactions in.
that's awesome.
That's the only thing I don't edit out.
I love that.
And also, Yogi was like, "If you edit that out, I'm no longer your friend," because that was adorable. So yeah, it's so Ice Cube was the reason you moved to America.
You know, just like every you know immigrant, they want to want a better life. You know what I mean? But it
How
wasn't-
bad was it in the Philippines though?
It's just like I just don't see anything there. Like I'm working for like an outsourcing company, and it's just not gonna cut it for me.
You weren't fulfilled there either.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, my family's there, but my mom is, she keeps on telling me like you should just like take a chance. like, all right.
There's a pretty big socioeconomic divide there, right? Like class divide. You're either like on the top or you're on the bottom.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, just imagine this. When I used to work for Verizon in 2008, 2005 actually. Like the monthly for some,
And that
for
was
some of
in the Philippines.
in the Philippines, yeah, it's $200 a month.
I'm sorry. Verizon was paying you $200 a month in the Philippines?
$200 a month.
Fuck Verizon. That's slavery, motherfucker.
That's probably not too far off of most.
That's
$200, $300 a month.
a month.
Yeah,
a
a month.
month.
A month.
So
A multi-billion-dollar corporation is paying their workers in the Philippines
That's not-
$200 a month.
That's how it
So,
works.
I mean, I have no doubt that it was nowhere near worth your time. But what $300 a month is not even covering part of your rent here. But is it taking care of your basic needs there?
Like, yeah, you could eat. Like I
You could eat, but it's
you could eat and then you can pay
crazy
rent.
alone. Yeah.
But you share a room with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
What were you doing for them in the Philippines?
tech support.
Meanwhile, the tech support people here
Yeah.
are making $800 to $900 a week.
Yeah.
Something around that.
Fuck Verizon. Fuck the corporation cocksuckers.
Listen, if Nike's setting the standard for corporations, there's really no surprise here.
I no longer
That's why I
buy
don't-
Nike products.
Yeah.
I can't buy Nike products anymore. It's
Yeah.
just like between
Nike's,
I don't want
Hershey's.
to. I don't want to sound woke, but between the
I don't want to sound like I'm a good person, but
right. I don't want to destroy my bad boy image. But between the
fuck you, boy,
exploitative
Viking tea.
the exploitative nature of the sweatshops. But what really was like the final thing was like the fact that they wouldn't acknowledge that they were using Chinese cotton picked by Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps.
Yeah.
Like I don't care
I
where
don't
your
know.
company's based.
I don't know about
If
that.
if your raw material is sourced by people in concentration camps, you can go fuck yourself. You can go fuck yourself with the largest spiked bat ever because
Sure.
you are literally perpetuating Holocaust. Like
Yeah.
fuck you and fuck everything you stand for and fuck your CEO and fuck your board. Fuck from the top down. I don't care how sick the new Jordans are. Go fuck yourself. You are literally getting your raw material from concentration camps. You are no better than fucking Nazis.
I hope Crocs don't do that.
I don't think Uyghurs are picking rubber trees.
I love Crocs.
Well,
Very comfortable.
thanks for listening to the Beautiful Barbarians podcast. Right on that note.
But yeah, man, going back to Jordans, everybody wants to wear Jordans. And then once I found out how it's being made, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Dude, it's rough. It's like, I mean, and then
everybody wants to wear Jordan. Like when it,
Oh yeah, dude.
what was it, like 5 years ago when everybody's all, was it 5 years or
No,
10 years
I mean,
ago?
I remember I was late to the Jordans craze when I was like 15. Like, I remember my first pair of Jordans. I think I only ever owned 2 pairs, but it was like, I think it was like 110, but in like 2005 for a pair.
when did NAFTA come out?
I don't know after.
A North American Federation Trade Agreement. That's when we started opening up China for our raw materials and stuff. And like, that was kind of like,
Phrasing.
what's up?
No, phrasing. That's all.
What? Okay, I missed it.
We opened up China for our raw materials. Phrasing.
Oh yeah, we raw dog China like a motherfucker.
I like Champ's. I'm glad we're recording this because like we might be able to see like Champ's processing of what just happened.
Welcome to ADD Hour, guys.
I'm just happy to be here, man.
Hey, I took my meds.
Did something. I don't get. It's now there's so many. I think we're seeing a swing back the other way, there's so many people opening up good American-made, sourced clothing and shoe companies.
Yeah.
You know, like where every step of the supply chain is accounted for. Like we got our cotton from North or South Carolina, where we have giant cotton fields. You know what I mean? We've got our leather from American cat. Like they moved the entire supply chain is American-made. So not is it just manufactured in the United States, soup to nuts, everything is coming from the U.S. Why someone would now go, if you are socially conscious, why now someone would go out and purchase Nikes and purchase shit made from concentration camp cotton or materials is beyond me, because you can literally support your own nation, whether, despite what foibles it has, you can support your own nation and make it better with manufacturing. But I don't know, the marketing and the propaganda machine just keeps it moving forward.
I think more than anything, it's the propaganda machine, because we've structured our internal view of our country to not focus on the step-by-step process that we participate in. The average kid who's going to be making a choice between a pair of Jordans or, you know, a high-end American-made shoe, they're not going to understand the collectivism that went into the American-made shoe, and they're still bought into the individualism mindset of, this is what I want, this is what I can do, this is what's going to increase my social status.
Yeah.
And they're not, it's less willful than people realize.
Yeah.
'Cause we've fostered that.
But that's the
But I think
death of the informed consumer.
assuming that there was ever an informed consumer.
Well, that's why we start now.
Yeah, but I think in 10 to 15 years we're gonna, because there's been such a push, especially with, like, you know, the socialist and communist ideas being pushed out now. I don't think that's ever going to take off per se, but it is bringing awareness to the cultural aspect of buying, being part of the social community.
Yeah, and I think that I think the terms socialism and collectivism get conflated with negative stigmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just because you're investing in your own country and investing in, you know, a guaranteed supply chain.
Oh, the biggest joke is that we're not socialist, at least to an extent now.
You know, what do you think the government's here for?
Right.
All social programs. Like,
Public
guess what,
public-
bud? If you drive on a road,
roads,
that's
public
socialism.
waste management, water system, police, firefighters, you know, most hardcore, you know, quote unquote right wing conservative values are rooted in
Public
socialism.
service.
Yeah.
If you want
Which
to
is
have a,
so ironic.
if you want to have a trip, so when you said firefighters are socialists.
Oh, you're gonna go in Rome?
What's that?
Rome?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm going back to Tammany Hall, New York City. If you want to see what capitalist firefighters look like, do a quick Google, Tammany Hall firefighters.
Oh, you know this is capitalist firefighters are why Rome fell, right?
No,
Okay.
I thought it was Nero and his fiddle. But I mean, they literally have gang wars over fire companies. Like, one fire company, they'd hear the alarm bell. The fire company would send out their largest, like,
Yeah.
guy with a barrel. He'd run to where the fire is, and he'd put a barrel over the fire hydrant. And his job was to fight every other fire company off until his fire company got there to use the hydrant to put the fire out.
So one of the the major unspoken reasons why Rome fell was privatized firefighting. Basically,
Did you just Google Tammany Hall firefighters?
I was googling it, but I don't have like.
basically the wealthy landowners would be in charge of private firefighters.
Yeah.
And if you had a fire, you had to pay
Yep.
for their service.
Which
But-
we're not far from going back to now.
No,
Which is
but
fucking
basically,
bonkers.
it was only a very small, because the class divide in Rome became so stark that it was a very small amount of wealthy landowners, and not all of them had their own firefighting companies.
Mhm.
So you had this very small collection of them that became a monopoly, and so
Yep.
that they kept raising the rates of firefighters or putting out fires, and no one could pay it, so Rome kept burning to the fucking ground. And it got
Wow.
to the point where if you have your entire working class losing all of their crops, the entire system's going to be fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what caused the economic crash of Rome.
So I'm going to start a petition to make to privatize all firefighters in Washington D.C. Let it burn. But we were talking about Filipino food and immigrant stuff and mental health and not
I
going
don't
off
think we got
on
to
it.
mental health.
What's that?
I don't think we got to mental health.
Not
No,
yet.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, fuck you guys then. So moving from the Philippines to the United States.
I actually, yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's again, it is mind-boggling to me. It really, because I have never been in that position. You know what I mean? Like, just the closest I ever came was deciding to move from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Albany, New York.
Yeah,
That was
a pretty bad decision.
Was it?
no, it was a great decision. Fuck.
Why would you say that?
He's a meanie. He's a big
Yeah.
autistic meanie.
Yo, oh my God, Chad.
I think at this point I'd rather him call me a slur.
My wife hears this, she's gonna be like, "Oh my God, Chad."
What? I didn't. I called him an autistic.
He
is
actually
that,
he
though.
actually reels it in a lot for me on this
Yeah,
podcast.
I
He
know,
is that.
and I love it.
He's autistic. Jesus Christ! I didn't call him a tard.
Anyway, so what I wanted to ask was, we've talked about how jiu-jitsu kind of brings out the best of a person in a lot of ways, and their ability to handle situations and face adversity, and not only face it but handle it in a way that other people can't. Where there's what we've talked about 1,000 times. There's a very singular kind of mindset that can handle being choked out on the verge of death and be like calm about it, and then come out of a chokehold or an armbar or something of extreme pain or fear, and then just immediately you're fine. It sounds like you've always had this innate drive to go after what you want and try something new. What has jiu-jitsu added to that? And the culture behind you.
That's good. I mean, us Filipinos, man, we're fighters.
Yeah, I know.
We got Manny Pacquiao. Manny
What are you
Pacquiao.
flipping off?
What are you flipping off?
The video camera.
Oh.
You're looking at me funny.
It's like you were trying to find one of my neighbors. I
Yeah.
live here, Chad.
Yeah. Sick and tired of that dude in his bayline.
Just throwing out like ableist slurs, and now he wants to fight the neighbors.
ableist. What was the ableist story I threw out?
You just said tard. You
That's
just
not ableist.
so
Well,
about
I
what you were
laughed.
saying.
I laughed on it, so it's,
Yeah,
You laughed
see?
at the absurdity. Of
Look, the immigrant is on my side. It can't be ableist.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this, Chad. Nobody's gonna come to my restaurant anymore.
I'll come to your restaurant. I'll flip that bitch by myself. You kidding me?
But yeah, I mean, as you know, Manny Pacquiao. Everybody says Pacquiao. It's Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao. That's how you say
It's
it.
Manny Chibok.
Filipinos, we may be small. I'm not one of those small
You're
Filipinos.
not Jesus Christ.
This is bad.
We may be small.
This
Okay,
is
we
going
may be
south,
small.
bro.
I've rolled with a lot of big dudes, and I have to say, you've got one of the best pressure games.
Well, Brian taught me that.
But no, I mean, like I've like
But yeah,
Chad
we always
and like Clobber, strong as fuck. But your pressure game was just always just very smooth and
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I appreciate that. But yeah, we Filipinos, man, we always have a really big fighting spirit.
Ernie Reyes Jr. Dude.
There you go. Luisito
Dude.
Espinosa. There you go.
Simon.
So, but
In Chicago's there's a big.
There's a
You
big
know.
a Filipino community in Chicago. Very.
What's the-
They're big on kind of settling it their own internal conflict, right? Like, 'cause it's. I think it was you that told me that.
Wasn't it?
Maybe. Or you had a conversation with Brian about it.
Well, can we go back real quick to like Filipinos and martial arts, because it's you have Silat, Kali, Eskrima, like that's all it's all Filipino fighting.
Arnis,
Yeah.
which is like the what do you call that? The Eskrima.
Yeah.
Or like yeah, I never. We learned that in like physical education, but I never really was into it.
That's wild. Like that was part of the school curriculum.
Yeah,
Like,
but
hey, today we're going to teach you how to fight with sticks.
Exactly.
What about dodgeball? Fuck dodgeball.
No,
Here's knives.
we'll learn you how to fight. We'll teach you how to fight. That is, you learn how to fight.
Oh, so cool.
Boxing and wrestling used to be regular PE.
Yeah.
Just got rid of it.
But
Yeah, of course
we don't have wrestling in the Philippines, but yeah, we do have our knees.
No, because wrestling's not going to do a goddamn thing when you're up against a goddamn chimpanzee or whatever giant monkeys they have in the Philippines.
I don't know, man. But
Capuchins? I don't know. What got monkeys over there? Besides Ernie Reyes Jr.?
we got crazy orangutans.
Yeah. See, like, yeah. Guess what's not going to help you?
They got really good
Taekwondo.
grips.
Yeah. See.
But yeah, yeah, our niece, I you know, they teach you that in like when you're like first grade.
That's
But-
dope.
But then I wasn't really into it. If you're a Filipino, you're always into basketball, especially like if you're tall, you want to play basketball.
Yeah.
If you hit 6 foot, you're gonna be a basketball player. You know, nobody's gonna tell you like, yeah, try wrestling, try boxing. So Filipinos are really passionate about basketball too,
I heard basketball and I heard billiards.
and that's
They're
yeah.
a huge fan of billiards.
Efren Bata Reyes is like
Yeah. He's like the
the
baddest
best,
dude, right?
the baddest player ever. And Django, there's a guy named Django Bustamante. He's you know the same level with Efren Bata Reyes. But yeah, my first sport is basketball, pretty much.
No shit.
Yeah, I was an enforcer, Rick Mahorn type of player. Yeah, that was me, Charles Oakley. That's how I played. I guard like 6'6", 6'8" guys, and I'm like 6 foot.
Yeah.
And I would like get the rebound and just like throw it at the other side of the court. So I kind of learned that game, so I don't have to run back there. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't want to run. I don't like it.
No.
But yeah, what was the question again? Shit.
How did jiu-jitsu and the culture? How did jiu-jitsu and the culture of martial arts here maybe not change or influence the way you handle things and pursue things, but support you?
Yeah, but you know what? Jiu-jitsu like helped me a lot. Like, just because when I was a white belt, everybody wants to like kill me. So it's that thought of like I have to survive this, because I would suck if I would tap with just like a pressure, which I did when I was a white belt. I mean, coming into the Redsvik school, I was like, oh, I'm a bigger guy. Like
Coming into what school?
Redsvik, it's the school that I went first to in Chicago is called Redsvik Jiu-Jitsu,
Okay.
ran by Adam Redsvik. They used to be Gracie Baja, and they have their own school.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then I know what Jiu-Jitsu is before through like Kasushin Sakuraba, like seeing him fight Enzo Gracie, but you know, coming into that school, I was like, I'm a bigger guy, so I'm going to be a big target, right? And I once I started rolling with a blue belt, and you just had that pressure on me, I'm just like, it's just like, it makes you want to tap, right? Which I did tap, but there's something about jiu-jitsu about surviving.
Yeah.
So, and that's the first thing you want to do when you're a white belt. I just want to survive this round. I don't want to do anything. I don't care if you're in side control the whole time. I just want to survive this whole round and figure it out from here on. You know what I mean? So, but with Chad, it's a different story, though. Sometimes I want to punch him in the nuts. When he's like,
I
got the
appreciate
pressure.
every time you don't. Very thankful every time you don't punch me in the nuts. That makes me very happy. Because I would be very sad.
But
My
yeah.
wife would be posting fucking videos or pictures of, why does my husband have bite marks on his nutsack?
That was
Champ.
me.
Yeah, that's eye control, bro. That's shoulder pressure. Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much what jiu-jitsu told me. I mean, it helped me. It helped me a lot too. It's like just like handling life. You know, like I apply it to everything, especially with work.
What brought you to it?
Food.
Food brought you to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. It was.
Give me that
Do you want to
rundown.
elaborate? Then?
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
please
I
do
would.
that.
I would love to.
One day I was at the line at Taco Bell. The guy goes, "Hey, you want to do jiu-jitsu?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?"
It's not Taco Bell.
I know.
I don't like Taco Bell.
I was being facetious.
I don't understand the fascination with Taco Bell.
I'm sorry.
It's
so
late.
bad.
It's cheap.
Make your own taco.
Listen, I am a fat fuck. I will go hungry.
I'll make my own taco before I
Yeah.
eat Taco Bell. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But the
You're neither one of are going to shame me out of going to Taco Bell.
no, I
at
won't
like
shame you.
11
But the
PM.
thing is, like, I tried the.
Tell you what, then here's what I'm going to do. When I am drunk and I'm coming home at
Okay.
11 p.m. on a Saturday, I'm going to call you. And
Okay.
like, I would like several tacos. I will be by in 20 minutes to pick them up.
Yes, please.
It feels like you're trying to call his bluff here, but you know he's gonna be like, if he answers it, he's gonna do it.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But eventually his wife's going to be like, if you pick up that goddamn phone one more time at 11:30 at night on Saturday, you're going to be sleeping in the boathouse. And then he'll be like, dude, just go to Taco Bell.
Just go to taco. What's the chicken chalupa? Chicken chalupa? It was
I
a
don't
taco
know.
made out of chicken.
Yeah.
That's good though.
Okay.
I enjoyed that.
I missed that.
So
that limited time
a
promotion.
taco made out of fried chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind
I
of
mean,
enjoyed
how can you
that.
not enjoy
Yeah,
that?
I feel like that's doesn't count.
Don't look too deep in how they got the chicken breast to fold into the shape of a taco shell.
And why is it a
But-
chicken breast? But yeah, so what led me to it was in wintertime in Chicago, and I wanted some Korean barbecue. There was actually a Korean barbecue restaurant right by the jiu-jitsu school.
Okay.
So I didn't know it was a jiu-jitsu school, right? So me and my wife, I took her there. Well, my wife doesn't like the Korean barbecue restaurant because it's like really grimy. And my thing with restaurants, like the grimier it is, the better the food is.
That's the
Dude,
thing.
who did I just have that conversation with?
I don't know. I wasn't there for it.
Who the fuck
They
did I
have
just
a
that conversation
badass.
with?
They have
Oh,
badass like
PJ.
Oh yeah.
He's been
okay.
on the podcast. He was telling me about how he was down in somewhere in downstate New York, and he goes, he went to this Mexican spot, and like all it had was drywall, and,
Yes.
like, patches, and he
I
goes,
will say
Yes.
the one exception to this is Kennedy's Fried Chicken.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, don't go there. Tell anybody don't go there.
okay, well, besides that one,
But-
yes, I completely agree. The
but yeah.
grimier it is, probably the better the ethnic food's going to be.
Yeah.
So this restaurant is ran by one old lady and one Mexican dude in the back who slices all the meat. Right?
Are they related?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
They never asked her. They're probably dating or something.
Well, because usually if it's one family running the whole thing, you know it's going to be good. Like grandma's back there on the griddle, like you know it's
No,
going
it's
to be
just her though. But here's the thing. This is like the type of Korean barbecue. It's like real charcoal. They use like real charcoal.
kind of like you do to burn your grass and deck.
Exactly. So, fuck you, Chad. But anyway, I try to cook for you. Okay.
I know. Hey, I appreciate the effort. Just the execution was poorly planned.
I don't know. I was like something like bothered me. I was like when I placed it, I was like, oh shit. I was just looking at it.
I know you did. I was like, is he not? Okay,
And Chad was like, get the hose.
Get the hose. We're not going to just stare at this while your deck burns down.
No, what I was thinking is like, oh, I don't have my broom here. Oh, my broom is in the restaurant. It's like, god damn it. But yeah.
While his deck's on fire, I'm like, can you get a hose? What are we doing here, bud?
But anyway, going back
Yes.
to so it's a really good Korean restaurant. They have that lady makes good like short ribs too. But they do have the galbi.
Was this here or is this in
It's
Chicago?
in Chicago.
Okay.
So it was like really good kalbi, and then she has like thin sliced pork shoulder, and all of the banchan, like the sides.
Yeah.
And it was like the best thing ever. And she's not a nice lady.
She's not a nice lady?
She's not a nice lady, which
That's
I
how
really,
you know it was really
which
good.
I really like.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want you to use her scissors. She cuts it to herself. And she's like, oh, eat. And she cuts it. And she's like, man, this is like the best Korean barbecue I've ever had. It's called Songdo. It's off Lincoln Square Avenue. It's off Lincoln Avenue, right by the Resident Lincoln Square school. But yeah, so I was passing. We passed through. I was like, what is this like glass? It's all Stevie. and I can't see anything. So I try to like, it's just like I try to look into the glass. I'm like, oh, they're doing jiu-jitsu. They were wearing gi. I was like, oh, they're doing jiu-jitsu. So the next day I came back. I tried the 7-day trial, and that's it. I'm stuck with it. I've been doing it for like I think almost 7 years.
That's
Food.
awesome.
It's still full circle. It's always food.
So you moved to the Philippines to get Korean barbecue, and it started you in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now you're opening a Filipino food spot.
So back to my question.
This is the most ethnic story we've ever had on the podcast.
So now we know about how you got into it, but I still want to know more about how it facilitated your drive and it helped you overcome. Because like Chad was asking, like undertaking something like opening a restaurant after immigrating to a whole different country and culture. That's
And
a lot
succeeding,
to-
and
it's-
succeeding,
and-
and
but
succeed-
it's
and making like
gotta
getting
be
that American dream.
fucking intimidating and overwhelming. And like Chad said, a lot of people are like, all right, I got what I wanted, I'm done. I'm just gonna grind it out for a little while and see how it goes. You
Get the
keep
kids through
pursuing.
college and just be
So,
like, all right, hey,
you know,
this
the
is what we're doing.
jujitsu- And if it wasn't jiu-jitsu, what helped your mindset of like constantly pursuing?
I just think it's jiu-jitsu. It's just always just the immigrant mindset, pretty much.
Yeah, elaborate on that. Jiu-jitsu is the immigrant mindset.
No, like were you asking me like what like with the like how do I deal with like from going from a regular job to like taking a chance of like
Yeah.
having a business? It's just for my I guess it's I would say like it's also for my sanity too,
Yeah.
because like my job is just like I'm not happy with it, but it's just like it's my wife knows how much pressure it is to me, like it's draining mentally. So I don't know, like
So you found something to kind of offset that unhealthy mindset.
yeah, somehow, yeah, but also like I said, like being an immigrant too is like it gives me that mindset of just like you have to do this. If you just put in the work, everything will be fine. Like you just have to like work really hard and work really hard and smart at the same time. Do it right, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, it's
Which applies to almost every endeavor except the food industry, because I've known plenty of restaurants who have had an amazing product
Sure,
and have gone out of business.
sure.
Well, I
I
think
mean,
it's,
so
I think
that's-
it's interesting because it's I like that you ascribe that to the immigrant mindset, because if you just keep working, everything will be fine. But most Americans give up at the slightest roadblock.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true.
No?
If
I think it's a pretty common thing here.
but
No,
the
I
thing,
think that's a small minority
but-
that they
Yeah.
are just focused. They're magnified more. Just it's kind of
I
like how
think
we've
you'd
had
see
this.
more success stories if it was
no, but the
But
thing
what's
is,
what is your
people saying, "Wow, I really succeeded."
what is your litmus test for a success story?
People saying, "Wow, I really succeeded."
Okay, well, guess what? You're not gonna. If you ask me, hey, have you succeeded? I'm gonna tell you no, I haven't. You know what I mean? Like,
I would say I have it.
but even though my bills are paid, everything's paid. You know what I mean? Nobody's going hungry. Nobody's looking for
But
clothes
I
on their
don't
back.
think most people go for their dreams and aspirations. Like, most people aren't, like, that's what we talk about all the time. Most people stop when things get hard. They don't want to try something hard every day. And they end up taking the easy route.
Well, that's why I asked what your litmus test is for success. Because am I a multi-millionaire podcasting jiu-jitsu mogul? No. You know what I mean? Like, do I have a cult of personality behind me? No. You know what I mean? Like,
But you know what I'm getting at.
But the thing
in
is,
In the
broadest-
pursuit of dreams and aspirations, I don't see that a lot.
right, and you're not going to, because that's the reason they're dreams. Because they're fanciful. You know what I mean? But if you can
There's a
sit
difference
down
between
no,
going for it and like
Right, but
achieving it.
but there's also that motherfucker that's called reality, where so
But that's
I
what
have
we're talking about.
I have a
I'm
wife
talking
and
about
I
his,
have,
what
right.
Champ said of this mindset of like, as long as I keep going.
right, but I don't want to devalue anybody who's like, oh, I had to stop chasing my dreams because now I have actual real world responsibilities. Like, you know, I may want to be A, B, or C, but right now I am achieving the means to put food on the table for my family, putting clothes on their backs, giving them a house, having transportation. You know what I mean? Like, all the basic needs are met.
But
you know what I mean? Like,
I'm
that's
not devaluing.
Yeah,
no,
but-
I know you're
Yeah.
not, but I'm saying, like, I think our litmus test for success is greatly skewed, especially since the
Okay,
advent of
so
social
I'll
media.
rephrase what I was saying. Like,
But let me just. I think I've actually like probably said it wrong
No,
or something.
Champ,
No.
this isn't about
But-
you right now. You
it's
shut
about
up.
it's about Chad once again
Wants to
not
finish.
wanting to
He
agree.
wants to finish.
Yes.
Okay, but hold on.
You'll notice that we get further and further
I
off
love it.
topic just so he doesn't have to like give into what I'm saying. He'll recognize that he agrees with it, but he just still wants to be confrontational with me.
Go ahead.
Like, this is the whole theme of the. You clearly don't listen very often to our show.
I do though, and I
God damn
enjoy
it, Yogi, stop attacking the guest.
But no, but what I'm. No,
Yeah,
I
it's
lost
still
my-
not about you. Anyway,
Yeah, you
train
shut
of
the fuck up.
thought. You guys,
It's
yeah,
like-
go. You guys finish it. Chad, finish it.
I'm talking more about.
How dare you
I'll
invite
re-
us to your lakeside cottage?
I'll rephrase what I'm saying. It's not that we don't see a lot of success here. It's harder and like with real world factors and when you add in the mindset, you don't see a lot of people actively going after what they want.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Thank you.
Reality is a soul-crushing, dream-crushing thing.
Sure. And
I'm gonna retire. He finally said. He
I was
agreed
gonna
with
say,
me.
like, you know, I already know what it entails to own a restaurant, or to run a restaurant. You know what I mean? So I have that. I already have that in my mind. So, like, I don't know. Like for me, like, if it, you know, if you say like if it fails, like, you know, it's always going to be a learning process. If something fails, you just have to like, you know. You just have to like figure it out. I don't know.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah,
So
just
you're
keep moving
describing the mindset of just being here and now and
Yeah.
handling like being present in what's happening, not allowing for that anxiety of wondering what if.
They're always that's always there.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't let it kind of consume you.
No.
You stay present in what's happening.
No, because
now.
why
The
would
what
I?
ifs don't paralyze you.
Yeah.
What?
The what ifs don't paralyze you.
I mean, sometimes it does, but I just.
Well, it doesn't because you keep moving forward.
Yeah, it does, but
Well, it paralyzes you and then you shake your
Yeah.
shit off.
I don't know. It's
Then we
just
don't-
me. I don't know how to
we don't know
explain
what paralyze
it.
means.
But it's
You
a,
could fight him about it now.
I will. I'll fight everybody. I'll fight your neighbors.
don't find my neighbors. Chad. Stop. But no, I just I don't know, man. It's just me. Like that's why my wife is always telling me like sometimes like you know like because your podcast is about how do I say this
Say it how exactly you want to say it.
mental health.
Yes.
Yes, that
Well done.
we did a good job there.
Thank you. So going back in the Philippines, like you know, me growing up there, so mental health is not really something that's how do I say this in a safe way? Like we don't really.
You want this one or?
No, I'll take it.
It's not something that really that people talk about.
Well, so I was thinking about this. Mental health,
I'll get a restaurant, please.
while it is very important, I think that it's very much and I mean this in the nicest way possible, I very much think it's a first world problem. Because when you're
Is it a first world problem or is it something that can be afforded by first world?
It's
It's a
something
first
that can
world.
be afforded by first world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when you're struggling to eat, struggling to put a roof over your head, struggling, how you feel in your own head isn't a priority. I need to get food on the table. I need to get clothes on my kids' back. I need to make sure we're not getting attacked by fucking jaguars in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's ever going to stop and be like,
We don't have
"But how-
jaguars in the Philippines.
But
man.
how are you feeling? It was hyperbolic. Right, orangutans. Orangutans with crazy
It
grip
was
are coming to get us.
racist. But no, it's actually something I was recently exposed to, an idea that I was recently exposed to about subcultures in America is the idea of mental health in families, where, you know, like the typical American white family is very, very nuclear. It's the parents or the guardians, and then the children, and that's it. So whatever happens stays within them. So if the parents abuse the kids or hit the kids, you know, there's no talking about it. But you
And
know,
then the cycle continues.
and the cycle continues.
Through
But in
generations.
other cultures, you know, that may happen, but because it's a little more commonly talked about, there is that sense of kind of having someone to go to about it.
Mm-hmm.
So while it might happen at similar rates, it's less quote unquote impactful to, because there's
less
no,
traumatic.
There's less. It's less. They're not less traumatic, but it's, you have a support system.
It's guided.
It's guided. Yeah, that's a really good way of saying it. So, you know, the conversation of mental health might be more of a first world problem because it came out of this culture of not talking about it. But
The white nuclear family definitely represses
yeah,
physical correction.
right.
You know, I mean, you look at
and I have some friends. We haven't had the conversation in terms of like familial family trauma, but they're from Bangladesh, and they're like, it's so bizarre seeing, especially white American families, and how little you interact with each other and how little you share with each other. In Bangladesh, it's your family is everybody you can possibly have in your family, and it's
Nice.
super connected. And you know, the kids don't leave the house until you're 25, because until you're 25, you're still a kid. And then, you know, when your parents are too old to take care of themselves, there's no question that you're taking them in.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, I also look at it like this: if, a bunch of my Hispanic friends, you know, you always see that common, I guess, you know, the chancla. You know what I mean? Grandma hit you with the fucking flip flop.
Yeah, you just saw me like kind of.
You know what I mean? But it's again, you know, you got smacked in the face with a shoe because you came out of pocket. But it's talked about. It's well known. Everybody can, because if you've been hit in the face by a parent or a guardian, you know, in white culture, that's like, oh, that's abuse. You can't hit your kid.
Yeah.
But if you go to the Latin culture, they're like, no, that happens. You got hit with a sandal, and everybody's like acknowledges it. Everybody can talk about it. It's out there in the open. Like, it's not a big secret.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas, like,
you know, thank God two white guys are talking about this.
he's Filipino.
I got the belt or the slipper.
Yeah, so we're here.
He's Filipino.
I'm just trying to give us gravitas.
But yeah, with like, you know, with mental health, it's just like now that I'm here and how fast life is like, I think it's, you know, like it's something that's really important for everybody. Like,
I completely agree.
I
you
always talk
elaborate
to my
on,
wife about it because I think I need it too. Like, you know, like I'm just like really lazy. I haven't like scheduled to talk to somebody.
It's tough.
But
It's a big step.
it's not a big step for me. It's just like I keep forgetting, but I wanted to. I want to. But yeah.
What are your concerns about your mental health? Because like I talk about it with Yogi. I've talked about it with Brian. You are hands down one of the sweetest people we have ever met.
Well,
You are just a, like, if the world had more chance, it would be a wonderful place. 'Cause
oh,
you really
Chad,
are just
thank you so much.
a sweetheart, an absolute sweetheart.
No, but I like now here, like I think it's like with all the pressures, like with you know, how you gonna get the kid to college and stuff like that. But I never had that in the Philippines because it's me either myself. It's just like I never thought of just you know, I never know anybody who went to a psychiatrist,
Sure.
Psychologist.
yeah,
Therapist.
a therapist. There you go. I never know everybody. But yeah, like the way life here is just like it's so fast. It's so much like it's always you have to like go all the time. It takes a toll on your mental health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, it's just like it's somewhere you're just gonna like pop.
Yeah.
You know, which happens to me sometimes. That's why you know I talk to my wife. It's like I think like I need to like talk to somebody and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I came from a different culture where like mental health is just like if you talk to somebody like a psychiatrist, like a therapist, like something's wrong with you. It's like you know they look like you're so down here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's different. It's different.
Well, it's kind of one of the reasons we do this whole podcast thing is because, you know, people hit me up and they go, you know, what do you do? And I go, well, you know, I've done the therapy thing. I've done the medication thing. I self-medicate with psilocybin mushrooms and DMT. You know, I do all of that, and I do. It's not just one thing. It's a multi-pronged attack on my issues. I have ADD. I have intermittent explosive disorder, which is a rage disorder, which is a type of depression. You know, I have all this stuff, and it's not. There's not. What sucks about mental health is there's not one. Nobody can give you an outline of what's going to be guaranteed successful. My journey for mental health is completely different than his.
Sure.
It's going to be completely different from his.
Sure.
But the one thing I can tell you is the one thing that I know has helped me and has helped everybody I've engaged with about this is talking with somebody. Just with somebody.
Just like
Anybody.
you and Yogi.
That's it, 100%. Just like this. But the key thing is removing those things right there. Getting the cell phones out of the faces, getting the technology out of the face, and literally doing what we're doing now, sitting down and having a long form conversation,
Right.
and just really going in depth about shit.
Actual life, like.
Yeah, it's we don't do that anymore.
And I have this conversation with a lot of my friends, because a lot of my friends have this idea that, you know, I'm well read, I've gone to college or grad school, you know, I'm smart enough to handle this monitor. I'm like, it's sure, and maybe you're even smarter than the therapist or wherever you go see. That doesn't matter though. What matters is you're in your head thinking about it, and you're never articulating it. You're never finding the words for it. You're never connecting the dots. You're never tracking. It's not until you talk about it out loud with someone and you have to explain it that you really see the patterns, that you really understand the patterns. You find the right words for it. You know, what might be an insecurity might really be better said as a fear or an anxiety, or your anxiety might actually be closer to depression or, you know, a sense of being overwhelmed. And you're not going to know that about yourself until you talk about it.
Right.
And, you know, sure, you can have that a long form conversation with, you know, a peer or a friend or whomever, but it's not about how smart you are. It's about experience, and a trained therapist, especially a good trained therapist, has the experience to get that out of you. So, you know, it's, and you know, Chad, you said getting the phone out of your face helps a lot. It does, but what, you know, on top of just being a mental thing, people don't realize that, like, your body and mind are not separate. Like, we have this weird Western idea of body and mind are separate, and they're not. What are you doing when you're on your phone? You're hunched over, your head's down, you're looking at the floor, your vision's closed, it's up, you're not seeing everything. And a physiological effect of that, a psychological effect of that physiological mechanism is your head's down instead of up. When your head's up, you produce more serotonin and more dopamine, you're taking in more like actual light. So your visual receptors are more active, and that has a positive impact. Fuck what's on your phone and the impact of the actual device. Your body, you're hunched over.
Sure.
What is that? When you're walking down the street, you see someone hunched over, you're depressed. You know, they always tell you when you're walking down the street at night, don't hunch over, it's going to make you a target. When you're sitting up, you look more confident, you feel more confident. The phones take that away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a weird thing happening in Gen Z and the younger than Gen Alpha, they're on their phones so much that
Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha is the generation after Gen Z. They're starting to cycle over. This was never.
We've already gotten through 26 generations. Now we're just back at the beginning.
Well, we started tracking it at like some
The greatest generation.
the greatest generation. So we never even hit 26. But they're developing a secondary bone off of their vertebrae
the
because
horns, right? The
Yeah,
little
like there's like
horns.
a horn developing off the
Really?
one of the lower cervical spine. Yeah,
It's like a bone spur.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's like going from a spur to an actual bone, and so when you pick your head up, it actually causes nerve pain.
Yeah,
Pushing
sure.
it to-
Yeah, it's like a pinch nerve. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which I'm dealing with right now. I hate pinch nerves.
Yeah.
Stop looking at your phone.
No, it's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's the key with therapy is it's not how smart or how, I mean, obviously a good therapist is someone who's going to
Call
they
you
might-
on your shit.
they may not be the smartest person in the world, and they may not call you on your shit, but they're going to be the unbiased receiver for what's bouncing around your head.
You know, I'm in the world of measuring, you know, IQs, and my kids all have to take intelligence quotients. I've always tested high on them. I've always done really well in standardized tests. You know, by all intents and purposes, I understand IQ scales very well. I, you know, quote unquote high on the IQ scale, but the one thing I've learned is that it really does not matter. You know, I might have higher processing speed, but you can't think in terms of intelligence. Intelligence really doesn't factor into a whole lot in life. It's all going to come down to experience. Like, I don't know how many times I've had a major reality check by someone who I deemed less intelligent, just because they had a better view of the world, they had more experience. Like, we really, as a culture, have to get out of this mindset of I might have higher processing power, but that does not mean shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it really doesn't mean anything beyond like how well you text on a a written exam.
I believe that.
You know, I know plenty of people way smarter than anyone at this table that cannot get their shit together in life because they have no experience.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can have the biggest brain in the world. If you've never gone outside your house, you're dumb as shit.
Just think about it. The quote necessity for measuring intelligence has only been relevant for the last 100 years, maybe. We're not designed for that to, as humans, we're not designed for intelligence to really matter all
No.
that much.
No, not at all. If you can find food, find shelter,
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
No, it really does
Just
not
in
matter.
Oh, you don't understand Tolstoy? Idiot.
Yeah.
Like, meanwhile, he works at the fucking town dump and drives around a brand new truck and has, food on the table and
Yeah.
kids. It's like, okay, well, no, he's dumb as shit, but doing better than you, asshole, with your fucking underwater basket with your liberal arts degree.
Yeah.
That's
Congrats on your fucking grad school debt.
Yeah, it goes way back to like, what is our litmus test for success?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm lucky about because I don't have that.
Well, what would he do for you? Aren't we
I'm sorry.
fucking special?
Yeah, I'm just lucky
All the
'cause-
Filipinos over here taking away our good jobs, not accumulating crippling student loan debt, you motherfuckers. You're what Marjorie Taylor Greene's been warning us about. Build the wall. Build the wall.
I'm so oblivious to like what goes on in some political spheres that Chad posted something on his story about some idiot in Congress, and I was like, oh, who's this about? And he just goes, fucking asshat NTG, and it's like, when did Magic the Gathering have anything to do with politics?
What? Magic the Gathering?
I was
Magic the Gathering is an acronym for, an MTG would be an acronym for Magic the Gathering.
No, I used to play that. Yeah.
But
So did I.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is also MTG.
oh, okay.
So he
okay,
thought
okay.
I would instinctively know, and I knew it wasn't Magic the Gathering, but that was my only reference point for that acronym.
Okay, I got you.
and I laughed, laughed,
Yeah.
and I was like, nope, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Now I know why it's so funny when you do like a lot of like movie references on him when you try to like choke his ass out.
No clue. None.
No.
Not at all. That's why.
See, but like with you understand like what's happening behind my brain where I'm just not making a connection. My favorite is when Clobber does it, because like you guys do it as a way of like interacting and connecting. So
Yeah.
he'll make these connections because he's trying to joke around with me, and then he'll just like see this blank look in my eye and like it's like this weird like what the fuck is happening like
Chad never does that to me.
what movie references?
No.
No, because I'm trying to avoid your fucking top pressure. I don't have time to make movie references.
I want that.
I guess suck more jujitsu. I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah. Yeah, man. It's, I really have to like schedule to like talk to like a therapist, really, because it's really.
Chad and I both went through. Actually, Chad got me onto it. HappyHealth.com. They made the process super fucking easy.
I'm back.
And it's
The other
all
thing,
very
though, I
simple.
want to put out there is that not everybody needs therapy.
Sure.
Not everybody needs it. Do a lot of people? Absolutely. But I think a lot of the stuff where people think they need therapy can be resolved by just putting down all the external distractions and talking. You know, whether it's
I
your...
think that's a skill to be able to put shit down and let shit go for a little bit.
I agree. I agree.
And I think that's where, like, you know, I'm not, again, I agree with, you know, but I don't think everyone necessarily needs it, but I think therapy provides that skill development.
I agree too, and I just hate how therapy has become popularized because it's the hip thing. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I think
Because it's like saying it's like trying to popularize a broken arm. Like, I'm gonna get a cast. Well, are you getting a cast because your arm's broke, or are you getting?
But
a
I don't
cast
think it's
because
become
cool?
popular because, like, people see it as cool. I think it's become popular because people don't know how to ask for help and how to take help.
Yes, agreed.
And I think
agreed.
I think it's been masked as becoming this cool trend.
Yeah.
But while not everyone may need therapy, I would say the overwhelming majority of people either don't know how to ask for help, don't know how to take help, or don't know how to, you know, provide help.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the culture of, quote, everyone needs to go to therapy comes into play. It's a little reductive, but I see where it's coming out of.
I mean, you should always have somebody to talk to.
But I think that goes back to what we were talking about, where in other cultures, like my friends from Bangladesh or EU in the Philippines, you have this, it may not be the most efficient social network support system, but it's there. And here we're so individualistic in our mindsets that, especially like families that are broken or having internal struggles, all you're taught is that there's no one to go to. But in, you know, families that don't focus on the nuclear aspect, you know, if one family member lets you down, you talk about it with someone else in the family, or if that person isn't, you know, the right person to talk to you, try talking about someone else. You might never have the perfect support system, but you have a broad support system.
Yeah.
Because the thing is too is like if you want somebody to talk about these types of things, especially in your family, you're just gonna be like, "You're fine. Don't worry about it." Like, what are you talking about? So it's just like something that you don't really want to talk about. You know what I mean? Even if like growing up, like you're feeling something's like, you know, off. It's just like something that you can't approach a family member to talk about, even parents. So I don't know, I never talked to my parents about it growing up, but
Well, I'm a suburban white kid. Like, I was really always just steps away from being a school shooter, so it doesn't,
It's funny because it's true. But no, I hear what you're saying, and I see this parallel. I don't want to say parallel, but I want to see this perpendicular relation because, growing up, we really didn't have family dinner. It was, my mom would get home. When she got home, she would maybe sit down with us, but it would be so late that no one would talk. So it would really just be me and my younger brother at the table. My mom would be in the other room doing more work. So there wasn't that aspect of communicating.
okay.
And I think that's not super uncommon.
no, not at all. Not at all. It even happens nowadays in my family. I'm off training, the wife and the kiddo are having dinner, and I come home and kind of have my dinner.
But you do things to compensate for that.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't
you
think
do.
that's, the idea of family dinner is integral insofar as that's the only time of day that, quote, that's the only time of day that families can spend time together. But if you're making up for that somewhere else, like you go hiking with her, you go train with her, you take her to all this other stuff, like that's quality family time. You might
I
not be
read
sending
I
her
read
a-
3 to 4 stories to her every night before bed.
There you go.
And then
There you go.
I usually, my fat ass usually ends up falling asleep in bed next to her. And then I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to work. I'm like, oh,
Just like my pops, growing up, he would, because he works for the government. He works in the electrification administration.
President
so,
Duarte?
No, not that. Not that administration. But
That's a Filipino joke, folks.
it is a Filipino joke. But
He wanted to kill the drug dealers
yeah,
with
that,
roving motorcycle gangs.
that got really bad. It got
I can't see how that would go south.
But the thing is, the dude, he was a mayor. We was a mayor in Davao. Davao was beautiful. Everything, it's clean. Everybody's following. And I was like, I thought he'd be a good president. But after that, I was like, oh shit,
Well, the reason it was so clean is because he killed off all the unmentionables.
guys.
But
But yeah, going back, my dad was he works in a different province, and on weekends he would come home. But on the weekends, he would pack things up, put everything in the car. We had that Toyota station wagon, like a 1969 station wagon, and he would take us somewhere, and then we would have picnics. So that compensates for it. It's still there's still that bonding that you guys were talking about, but but then again, it's
I just watched this kid try to go for a jump and then just put one leg in and then so,
Just doing that the past half hour.
I should not in my field.
I just keep watching it. Thump, 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 thump. Squish. I'm like, all right, cool.
But with mental
You'll
health,
get it soon, honey boo boo.
But the thing is with Filipino parents, your school, you have to really have good grades. You have to have straight A's, what they say here. So
I feel like that's every immigrant parent, though, isn't it?
and it's for me, it's just I'm not hitting it, man. I'm on the 75. And what's the passing? It's a C or D.
Here would be D.
A D. So I'm always hitting D. And that's pretty.
These nuts.
Oh my god.
Hey, listen, as long as you're taking home the P and the D.
Hey man.
As long as you're taking home all the D, that's all that matters.
And they're not happy about me.
You must be
So
the most popular kid in your class.
no, there's a lot of us. Don't worry about it. But
A lot of people taking D's.
but yeah, that type of thing. There's so much pressure at a young age.
If you don't think the name of this episode is going to be called Filipinos Love the D, then you are sort of mistaken.
Hey man, all you need to do is get the D and
So
then get on
about
with
the
life.
pressure you feel from taking all the D.
Yeah, taking all the D.
It's got to be a lot of pressure, especially if you're taking 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah, man.
Chibog, 300 and a half on New York. Go check it out.
So is a family podcast.
Ask for the D plate special.
We're talking about grades, by the way. But yeah.
Sometimes.
Man, that's a lot of the, like a lot of pressure, and then, like you don't know growing up, like that takes a lot, that affects you a lot mentally.
So let me ask you, since you are now a first generation immigrant,
Sure.
you know what I mean? Like it's rare that we get to have that opportunity to talk to. You hear first generation immigrant, and you think of people like Ellis Island, like immigrating over in the 20s and the 30s. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a very rare thing for me to actually sit down with somebody who's a friend of mine who's a first generation immigrant. You know, we had Adrian on from Jamaica. But now having you on, the difference is that you're married with kids. Now, you hear about these second generation kids who are in their 20s and 30s, and like they're talking about the like I have a friend of mine who lives out in California, second generation Korean, and his parents were completely disappointed by him because instead of becoming a lawyer or a doctor, he settled on becoming an FBI special agent.
What's wrong with
Like,
that?
well, because they had this expectation of like the only way you're going to get up is being a lawyer or a doctor. You know what I mean? Being like a,
Same as Filipino parents.
you know, that's the thing. It's but they put that pressure on me. He's like, dude, I'm like a FBI special agent. Like
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he has a dope job, and like all his bills are paid. But it's like, yeah,
He ain't
my
shit until he's in the X-Files.
You're not a lawyer.
my parents are like, you know, but you're not a doctor. Like
yeah.
like Soo-Heen Park's son is an oncologist. He's like, I shoot bad guys in the face. Like, I don't know what you want, but it's, you know, so you being a first generation immigrant and now having two daughters, what is kind of your expectation going forward for your kids? You know what I mean? Because you know what
To
it's
be a
like.
lawyer and a doctor?
Yeah, like, well, yeah, that kind of thing. Like, what are you going to put that? What kind of expectation are you going to put on your kids now, coming from the Philippines, coming here, having like, are you? I'm wondering if that kind of mindset of a first generation immigrant parent has changed from like the 20s,
I got a
30s, 40s,
question to
50s.
preset that actually.
Okay.
You know, speaking of Ellis Island versus you know, that era of immigrants to now, back then there was a massive pressure to assimilate and adopt American culture. Did you have that pressure to give up your own culture to assimilate?
No.
Or so
It was almost celebrated, right? Like your culture is, you as being a unique cultural individual is almost now celebrated in modern
Right.
America.
So do you think that has kind of an impact on how you want to raise your first generation American kids versus what the previous idea of first generation Americans
Yeah,
had to deal with?
I mean, growing up, yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to tell my kids what to be. Like, I want you to, like, why don't you, like, you know, be an accountant or a lawyer or blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to, like, I'm just going to support them, whatever they want to be. Like, you know.
So you're just going to be a parent.
Yeah, because I learned it best from my in-laws, actually, my mom and my dad. Well, they were harder, but after that, my parents, like, kind of softened up. But I just learned, like, you know, like with kids especially, you can't tell them. You
Right.
just want to support them what they want to, as long as they do good by good, you know.
Well, that's I feel like that's a very healthy parenting
Yeah.
outlook.
Because I just don't.
I can't call it an American outlook because I know
'Cause-
plenty of fucking meth heads and trailers that are disappointed by their son or daughter not being a
Yeah.
fucking.
But I mean,
I don't know,
me,
stripper of the month.
my parents like sent me to a really good university in the Philippines, and you know, like
How many dirt huts did they have?
Oh,
and that is
You
our,
guys keep feeding me beers. I don't know what the fuck you expect.
That is our podcast for today.
You don't
yeah,
get to
that's
make.
our podcast.
This,
Chad's out.
this
You don't get to
beautiful
make that
barbarians.
decision.
I'm taking over, Chad, now. But yeah, like, but still, again, like they want me to be an accountant first. Like, so I took commerce, right? But I was just like, it's just not for me. So I took international studies, and my dad was like, well, you know, you're taking international studies. Why don't you do law? You know, there's just like I don't want to go that way. And then to end the story, I didn't really finish college because I was like, there's so much stuff that people want me to do that I don't want to do. Like, I can't concentrate on what I want to do.
So
I'm
you
just
never
like,
got a degree?
No, I don't have a degree at all. So, but you know, with my kids, like, you know, like the time comes, like, you know, whatever they want to do, I'm just pretty much gonna support them as long as it's like they're doing good by good. That's all I ask for. You know what I mean?
I think that's a healthy parenting perspective.
Yeah.
You know,
The only thing is, like, my kids, like, my wife's been telling me, like, I wish I could have, like, taught them how to speak Filipino. But I'm just like, so I always tell my wife, like, when they want to learn, they're going to learn. I go. But I realize
it's
now.
a very niche second language to learn. Like,
Yeah.
what do you know? I know English and I know Filipino.
I mean, I feel like that's like by the time they're old enough to make that decision,
That's what I was telling my wife.
they're gonna want to.
Does your wife speak Filipino?
She understands a couple.
'Cause I mean,
But
I
she
feel like
doesn't
I feel like
fluently
it's
speak.
probably
But
a much larger hill to overcome
Yeah.
when it's only half.
I just
of your parents
I
speak
just
a
feel
second
like it's
language.
like one of those things that you like, you know, like, because me, I learned another dialect. I speak Filipino like first, but then I moved to like Mindanao, which is the northern part of the Philippines, which they speak a different dialect, which is Cebuano. I learned it in 2 months, and I speak fluently. And that was like what? I was 13 years old. So in my mind, I
Don't
was
ask me,
like,
I don't know.
in my mind, like, if you want to learn something, you will learn it. You know what I mean? So I think it's something that when my kids are ready, like, hey Dad, I want to learn this. I'm gonna teach
But
them.
when they're ready to
disagree
make
with that. I disagree with that.
When
Okay,
they're ready
that's,
to
that's
make
what
that-
my wife was telling
There's
me.
no need for them to learn it, so there's no
Right.
motivation. Whereas you had to learn it out of necessity.
Well, I have a counter
They don't have to learn it.
thought to that
Nobody cares
because
about your counter fucking
I
argument.
know you made it very clear. But like when they're old enough to make that decision for themselves, they're probably going to be old enough to decide whether or not they want to kind of experience that side of their heritage. Wouldn't knowing at least some aspects of that language be helpful for them to kind of connect?
Yeah, some of
Yeah, by the
language.
time they're old enough to want to learn it, they'll be too stupid to learn it. So you need to keep it to them now, or they're like tabula rasa.
So you're talking, you're speaking
Yeah, you're
with
calling
your
his
wife
kid
right now.
stupid.
What's that?
Yeah, you're calling his kid stupid.
No, I'm saying
No.
I'm saying by the time they're 8 or 10, they'll be too stupid. Right
they,
now,
they won't have the energy to want to learn it.
well, that's the thing. That's what everybody talks about.
Also,
with-
much easier for little kids to learn.
That's
That's
it.
what
That's
it
the
was
thing.
like,
Their minds are a clean slate. You can impress, even if it's just rudimentary. You're instilling in them that secondary language. You're instilling that like cheat code, like that back door to be like, okay, we can crack this open at a later date, but you're going to have that seed in there that you can grow upon, as opposed to just trying to plant something in barren soil.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I completely agree with your wife that you should be introducing them now to that Filipino dialect that you know, because if nothing else, it's just cool. It just connects
Sure.
so much more with the culture. I wish my parents had, because I am third generation Norwegian.
Okay.
My grandfather's parents came over here from Norway. Their last name was Thronson. You know what I mean? They settled in South Dakota. Like, they just picked the coldest, most barren place. Like, yep, that's
Sure.
most like Norway. Let's go there. And you know, my grandfather at family meals would talk about Norway and the culture and everything, and I felt so cheated because I had to, when I got older, when I got in my 20s, I had to go seek out my culture and heritage in Norway. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I had to connect with that.
Sure.
I wish as a 4, 5, and 6-year-old I had spent more time with my grandfather learning the old ways of Norwegian, learning some of the language, just learning just a little bit, just to have that in me, so when I wanted to expand upon it, I wasn't starting from zero.
Okay.
I really wish I could have had that base to foster the interest in my culture, as opposed to starting off from nothing. And I think that it's a really good starting point to instill your kids with that basic connection of culture, because yes, we're all Americans and this and third, but we can also be unique. We can also embrace our cultures, and that way it makes it easier to share it with everybody else.
Okay.
And that brings down the divides a little bit more.
Did you try to like go to Norway and like?
I got married in Iceland.
Did you?
Yeah, we got married in Halgrim's church in Iceland. Yeah. Oh no, I went full bore. I wanted.
That is so.
I wanted to go to Scandinavia and immerse myself in Scandinavian culture and just learn everything I could. But like I said, I wish my parents and my grandfather had really pushed that issue a little bit more when I was 4, 5, and 6. You know what I mean? When my brain was really receptive to all those things. I wish I had a rudimentary understanding of Norwegian and Scandinavian language. I think it would have just connected me so much more than having to be in my late 20s, early 30s and being like, now I want to connect with my culture.
Because like my eldest Tallulah, she's 4, and like last week I was talking to her in Filipino. She just looked at me like, "Why are you talking in Spanish?" I was like, "Hold on, that's not Spanish."
Yeah.
I'm talking to you in Filipino. And she was like, "Is Philippines in Chicago?" Honey.
Like, Tallulah, I'm sorry, it's too late. Where's the baby? Bring the baby over. We're going to teach her Filipino.
She's just like the funniest thing ever. Like, oh my gosh.
4-year-olds
oh
are
my
great.
Gosh.
You want to talk about zero
And she's
filter?
she's really interested now with the Philippines, about being Filipina. So Filipino is like the male Filipino. Filipino is like Filipino is the female.
How dare you mansplain?
I know,
Hispanic
right?
Genders. And
I know
language to
this
me.
is how it is. But
I know
just saw
there's
her.
an O and an A.
I just saw her. You're a Filipino. So she's starting to ask me
She's a
questions.
Filipina.
She is a Filipino. But she's
Filipina.
Is there a push in? I know with some Latin cultures, is the push to get rid of Latino, Latina, and go refer to it Latine with the E at the end because it's
Filipinx.
or like well, they're getting they real like
No, we're not there yet. We're pretty, we're
Did you miss the part where I just talked about how the president was having roving motorcycle gangs to kill drug users?
No, I was actually sitting right here. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine somebody's like, I'm a girl, you have a beard, kill him!
Well, there's also the cartel in Mexico, but there's still Mexicans that are pushing for Latine instead of.
How are you
Latina.
going to say
I
the
don't know.
gall, the sheer inflated self-importance to think that you're going to change the gendering of a language that's hundreds of years old?
Well, there's social, merit to it.
because it's always American. Nobody calls a female Americana. You know,
We call them bitch.
we call you Americanos and Americana.
Do you? Yeah. I'd like you to stop.
Don't tell me. Tell my country about that.
I'll contact President Duarte myself.
He's not the president anymore.
Well, I'm going to contact him anyway. I love what you do with your drug dealers.
But yeah, it's still Filipino. But yeah. I don't know.
No, the hubris of American society to want to impose its progressive views on the rest of the world really bugs me. Like, they'll get to it when they want to get to
You
it.
guys gave us the Commonwealth. You guys handled us for 20 years to be an American territory.
No,
But
we
then the
didn't.
Filipinos are too.
We gave you the Commonwealth like somebody gives somebody else herpes. So
But we Filipinos are hard-headed. We wanted our own country.
you should.
So
You should have.
that's why we are the
fucking-
Philippines. Now.
Yeah, I agree. Fuck the man. Fuck you looking at.
You got talking.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, we cook good food in Chibok. 300 and a half Ontario in Cohoes.
I'm really excited, man. I'm
Yeah,
really,
this is
really,
dope.
really excited.
I apologize. I wasn't able to cook anything.
Why are you
for guys.
apologizing?
No, it's like I was hoping I was able to get you some barbecue skewers, but
Buddy,
you know.
the fact of me sitting here watching you almost you light your lawn on fire and then burn down your deck was...
You weren't here though. I just told you the story. But when you saw me, it was done
I
already.
walked up
I
and there was a
like-
burn patch on your lawn
I
and
was
you're out
like-
there with the hose and you're like,
I was
"Oh,
like, Chad
shit."
is here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then I was fully here for when you almost lit your deck
No,
on
but you
fire.
didn't see me before I took the hose when the grass was on fire. I was doing this.
So it was
Just
about
stoking the flame.
It was about the exact same thing he was doing when he almost lit his deck on fire.
I was
Just
like,
standing
"Stop
there
being
looking
on
at
the
it going, and I'm like, Champ, get the fucking hose. What are we doing, bro? Like, fuck your broom.
What is food and mental health in your, like, what's the connection between food and mental health in your mind?
Like making food or eating food?
Both,
Yes.
sharing food. Because there's this idea that, you know, we talked about family meals and like how there's a level of importance to it that at family time. There's, you know, there's been the idea of, like, I suck at cooking for myself, but, you know, I love cooking for people. Yeah.
I gotta try.
I don't-
No.
I don't-
He doesn't. He has no
I don't
motivation to cook for himself.
Right.
But when he has to cook for other people, it's like he kicks it up a notch.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I might be a decent cook, but I might be a decent cook, but I'm not gonna step it up for myself. But if I know that there's gonna be people there, or I have the opportunity to share, I'm gonna go hard. You know, sitting down for a meal
It
by
creates
myself,
connection.
by sitting by myself watching TV, you know, at night, and eating whatever I whipped up real quick is nothing. But
Right.
you know, having a quick snack with five of the closest people in my life is way better. So, you know, what is food and mental health in your mind? What's the connection? Because I think we've totally glossed over a golden opportunity to have this conversation.
It just.
Well, thank God you're here to bring it back.
Thank you, Yogi.
You're welcome,
Yeah,
guys.
it just gives me like. It just gives me comfort and like knowing that I can share this, you know, give my love, because I saw this a lot from my grandmother. She loves to cook, and you know, like, you know, at a young age I would just stay in the kitchen while other kids are playing outside, and that's why I'm this big as a Filipino. That's why Chad is always saying. Yeah, when I said I was like, all Filipinos are small except for me, it's like I was always in the kitchen. So I learned a lot from my grandmother, and I learned, you know, she cooks for everybody, and she gives them love. So it gives me that comfort to, like, when I do it for my kids and other people, it's just like I'm what's the word? I'm getting lost. No, I'm giving
Altruistic.
No, I'm just like, you know, giving, you know, paying it forward of what she gave me, pretty much. So
Altruistic.
I've never heard that word.
Well, you're an immigrant.
Thank you.
paying
Altruistic.
it
How do
forward
you
in
spell that?
altruistic
Spell
sense.
altruistic.
Altriustic.
See?
I dropped the mic, but it's on the stand.
Altruism. Altruism is more just like
Altruistic.
the act of just being good for the sake of being good. Paying it forward is, you know, cherishing what came before. Which is what like for you, it's doing good to honor. You know, it's an added component to altruism, which I like.
Altruism Plus.
Yeah.
An extra $5 a month for the subscription.
Disney Plus.
But I like it because it's you know, this connection to not just you know, you're cooking Filipino food, which is a connection to your culture, but it's also a connection to your family culture, like it's grandmother.
Where it started.
Right.
Yeah.
You're doing it. I know what you're saying now. You're doing it to honor, and you're doing it for.
I mean, when my grandma would cook for the whole family, and then once after that, everybody's happy, and you know the face that she gives if she knows everybody's like fed. It's just like something that I remembered as a kid. So that just stuck in my head. I was like, I want to do something.
Almost like a legacy thing. Like
Yeah.
it's like this is. It's cultural. It's a cultural celebration. This is how it's been done.
They just ate it
And
and
this
fell
is
off
how-
the jet ski.
I saw that.
Nice.
It's okay. That's okay. She'll be back.
Fucking white people.
I want to have a jet ski.
You should have a jet ski. You should have 3 jet skis.
No, just one. And
Sure,
then
sure.
when I get like an American flag Speedo, and then one of those sunglasses.
Pit Vipers? Yeah. I
And
think
just
you look
take
great.
pictures. I would-
And just take pictures.
I know.
No, we didn't go anywhere with it.
No, just take pictures.
Yeah.
Just rev it.
Welcome to Chibok.
Just pictures of Champ on his jet ski, just like waving all over the restaurant.
Fucker looks like a Filipino Kenny Powers.
Oh, Eastbound and Down. Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, it's a celebration. It's a legacy celebration of what you are bringing, the positive aspects of the cultural food culture to America. It's like this is what has brought us all together in the culinary sense, and I want to share that with everybody else, and I want other people to also have that dopamine, that comfort feeling, because that's what I mean. Food is what crosses cultural barriers. Like,
Sure.
show me one fucking neo-Nazi that doesn't eat Mexican, and they're a goddamn liar. Racists don't apply racism to food. That's why they have no fucking ground to stand on. It's like,
I feel
some
like there's
folks are
other
actually
reasons
starting to
that
eat
they're
Chinese
not
food.
valid.
you're a white
MSG.
supremacist? How many times you ordered takeout? Fuck you, you're a race traitor. You better be at home eating fucking saltines and canned tuna if you want to have any sort of respect being a fucking racist. Like, name me one good white dish.
Pierogies,
Beef and noodles.
pizza.
Pizza's not
That's
white.
Italian, bro. You better calm the fuck down.
Oh, well, Italian's white, right?
Yeah.
No, it depends on how
European.
far south you go.
Oh, that's true.
Because once you hit the Sicilians,
That's true. That's very true.
I'm
would
standing
you-
by pierogies.
would you consider Greeks white?
Oof, this is getting.
That's hard.
But that's the same area. Greeks, Roman Empire. I mean,
True.
you know what I mean? Pierogies from Poland.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said name one.
Yeah.
I named one.
Yeah. How many poor white cocksuckers waving fucking Confederate flags in the deep south are eating pierogies?
I'm pretty sure there's not a
Why
lot of
am
Polish.
I getting attacked?
I'm pretty
for
sure there's not a
answering
lot
your
of Polish
question?
restaurants around there.
Right. Exactly. Because that's them foreigners. I'm just saying, like, racists don't have a
So
leg to
I'm
stand
wrong
on.
for answering your
No,
question.
you're not wrong.
Got
No,
it.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I wanna.
No, I know. I'm just.
You know.
I'm being obtuse.
I don't care if you're going to be cute later. It doesn't matter.
I like to get dressed up.
Geometry jokes.
Geometry.
And you said you were a bad student. But that's why racists don't have a leg to stand on. Because
You gotta cut that.
no, I'm not cutting anything.
You can't.
They don't have a leg to stand on because they, if they're not eating fucking dried out chicken breasts and fucking white rice, and they can't even eat white rice because that's from fucking Asia. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's good with chicken breast though? You just gotta marinate it the proper way.
Right. But that's the thing. They're too busy fucking their cousins to marinate the chicken breast.
Oh my gosh.
Are you really getting upset about me calling fucking racist?
No, I
cousins
just-
fuckers?
I'm not getting upset.
He's because I made a face. So I was like, I handed Champ a beer, and then he's like, no, I want the other one. So I'm like, I'm doing this stuff, and then the next thing I hear is like something about like I don't even know what I fucking heard, but it was like
I was
something-
talking about how to cook a chicken breast.
Then he's talking about having sex with a chicken breast or something. I don't know.
No.
No.
I was talking about having sex with your cousin.
Okay, yeah.
My
Let me
neighbor,
make that explicitly clear.
Slightly less bad.
you know what? My neighbor's never heard any conversation like this before here. They'd be like, what are they talking about?
We're talking about racists
Exactly.
and their incestual
So basically,
ways.
I just tuned in at the last
Yeah.
clip, and I was just like, Okay, I guess this is where this podcast is going.
I'm just saying, if the KKK wanted legitimacy, they should stop going
But
to the
hold
Indian
over the
restaurant down the
KKK
street.
though. We have a KKK, a revolutionary group that fought the Spaniards
Where?
in the Philippines.
They were the KKK in the Philippines? You had the Ku Klux Klan in the
no,
Philippines?
no, it's a different though. It's still KKK.
I think you
No, no.
really need to lead with the fact that they're different instead of just
I'm
introducing
pretty
the
sure when they're
KKK.
in another country, they're called freedom fighters.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, so don't use KKK.
Give me that beer back.
Yeah, KKK is very explicitly United States.
No, it just reminded me because there was a restaurant in the Philippines with the KKK flag, which is the freedom fighter of the Philippines. That
What's
fought
the
this.
KKK flag?
That's the flag.
No, he's saying that there's
Those
a
are the
freedom fighter
fighters.
group in the Philippines.
They
who
have a
use
red
the
flag that has
acronym KKK.
KKK. Yeah.
It has 3 Ks on it?
Yes.
Well, that's not the KKK flag.
No, it's not.
No.
It's
Okay.
not. It's not. And he
Can I
was
have a
like,
beer because I don't know where we're going.
no. I'm just like explaining.
Okay,
like,
no, I get
somebody
it. What,
posted
so what is the KKK in the Philippines?
they're freedom fighters.
No, but
You want a Corona?
what's each K stand for? No, the big can we were going to give Jim.
Got the Asta-Asa and I'm gonna butcher this. They're fighting for freedom.
Okay, but they're not running around on white hoods talking to the southern
No,
accent and hanging black people.
These are a bunch of guys that has jungle bowlers fighting
Yeah.
colonizers, pretty much.
Okay. All right.
So the
But-
anti-KKK.
Yeah. But I was just like, I just want to share my story. Like somebody posted,
Well,
like,
good thing this isn't the medium to share your goddamn story, Champ. We didn't have you on to share your fucking story. We just want to know where your goddamn restaurant was. Jesus
Chad really
Christ.
just wants an audience to tell me I'm wrong.
That's it.
Like,
That's
come
all
on.
I want. I am literally just here to tell Yogi to shut up.
You keep saying you listen to this podcast, but
Yeah.
you continuously prove
Nobody's here to
otherwise.
have you interject with some sort of cultural reference.
okay, fine.
So anyway, the Filipino KKK.
So somebody posted it,
That's
and
not
they
the
were like,
KKK.
"How dare this restaurant name their place KKK? It's a really, really racist, type of group." I was like, and I was just like laughing about it because they didn't really know, like, it was supposed to be for those freedom fighters who fought the Spaniards for freedom, for freedom in the Philippines. So I'm just sharing. It's just like
No, I'm completely engaged. I'm just really.
It's just like somebody.
It's just shit branding. It's like the
Yeah,
Filipino.
how dare they
the
not
Fili-
focus their
No, no,
attention on
Exactly.
No,
American
it's just
racism?
It's just that's the thing. It's just like poor. It's just shit luck. It's shit luck. It's like, hey, we're the Costa Contra Cocabolos or whatever the fuck it is. And it's like, oh, we got 3 Ks now. We're just the KKK freedom fighters.
Are there
and then
3 Ks
and then in like the 1870s, these fucking Scottish Southern
I
assholes.
can't even spell clan correctly.
No, they started with
Isn't
a
it supposed to
with a
be?
K.
I thought they were a rap group or something.
Yeah,
Instead of spelling it with a C, you spell it with a K.
no,
It's
you
much,
got it.
You know.
Straight up. I can't wait for the next album to drop. It's gonna be straight fire.
Crossburn.
It's gonna be 4 white dudes just fucking down on their knee in front of a burning cross. They're gonna remix ODB, Shame on a Nigga, but they're gonna spell with a hard ER.
No.
That's the end of season 1 for the
It's not the end of season 1 because we're not even to episode 26 yet. This is only 23. We gotta
Wait,
get 3 more episodes
What
before we end the
season
season.
are you guys in, by the way?
Still the first?
It's still the first?
Yeah.
Why are we stopping at 26?
Yeah.
That's
Why?
the end of the
Why
alphabet.
26?
Oh,
And then I figure we'll do season 2.
okay.
Or we'll just keep rocking straight through. I don't care.
I don't give a
I
fuck.
was just
I was just curious.
Well, I was thinking for ease of like going through the back catalog.
So 1A when
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that way, if somebody wants to find an old episode.
yeah,
But I
it's gonna
also-
be way easier to cancel us that way.
But I also I include everything with the special guests so that like if somebody wants to work. I don't know what the fuck.
No, I think it's a good idea. I just didn't.
I just
didn't
figured
know
I
why.
figured we every 26 episodes
Yeah.
we just started.
No,
a
it's okay.
season.
You did good.
Thanks. I done a good thing. So can we talk about how fucking uncreative neo-Nazis are?
Yeah, that'd be a fucking awesome conversation.
How are we still fucking I don't know why I said we, because I'm not a neo-Nazi.
It's the first time he edits something out.
How are neo-Nazis in America still blaming the Jews for everything? Can we talk about this? Like, the neo-Nazi groups just said that abortion is strictly because of the Jews. I'm like, yo, you couldn't find...
Dude, they think there's fucking space lasers that the Jews own.
Love space lasers. Dude,
Me
if
too,
Jews,
but
if Jews own space lasers, I would convert tomorrow.
Really?
Like, yo, y'all control the weather, the media, and space lasers? I'm fucking in. Give me that little hat. We're doing this. I'll curl my sideburns. I don't give a shit. Fucking, I will do a lot for space lasers.
It's like
Straight
a
up.
bell curve of anti-Semitism comments.
I'm very inclusive.
But you know what?
If Jews have space lasers, I'm in.
I just found out there's just like
The Death Star of David? Come on now.
I
It
just
writes
learned there's
itself.
a different type of like Hasidic.
There's a lot of different.
There's different Jews. I'm just finding it out.
Yeah.
So in Chicago, there's every Thursday I would see a lot of like guys wearing these hats, like the round ones,
Yeah,
the fur ones.
That's Hasidic.
Yeah, I just learned about that. I was like,
Oh,
man.
the fur ones?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's that.
and they had like really curly.
Yeah, it's a
sideburns.
Hasidic. That's a
Yeah,
Hasidic.
But I think,
My-
no. I know it's Hasidic, but I think there's different kinds of Hasidic.
Yeah,
That's a
and you got
different
like
aesthetic.
Ashkenaz.
Yeah.
There's another. Okay, wow.
Two white guys and a Filipino breaking down the Hebrew religion.
No, I just love learning it. Like
Well, this is the wrong podcast for that.
You know, we were actually like a lot of refugees from like Germany that came to the Philippines that we took in the Philippines.
Weird. Why? It's a joke, guys. Come on.
No, I got it. That's why I looked at
But
you.
Yogi was like, "Are you serious?"
Why? Why would the Jews ever want to leave Europe? It's so weird. Please explain. Especially around the mid-40s.
So this is really like I was watching this like it was late at night. I was on Netflix and I watched this video about camp and the
About camp?
camps.
Yeah.
Camps.
No, we're following. We're just seeing how
Like
it went
summer
from camp
camps?
to
No.
concentration
You know what? Concentration camps. That's what it is.
Okay.
And this is the first time I've ever seen.
Like, did you just happen upon Salute Your Shorts from Nickelodeon?
Yeah,
Like,
I
what
feel like
happened?
you really like. Again, you have to be
Probably
specific
need to
in what you're talking.
concentrate? Okay, man.
I was
Concentration
watching
camps. Okay.
documentaries on camps. So, like, Alone? Like, what were you watching? Like,
I'm just
Naked and
envisioning
Afraid?
him like, late night, kids are going to bed. He's watching where he wants to go hike and camp out in the Adirondacks, and somehow he
got
gets
in,
down
like,
into
World
like
War II and
far right
I'm
Nazi.
I'm sorry. Concentration camps.
Somehow he landed on QAnon into the storm.
Hey man, look man, you gotta be. Take
Like,
it,
you know,
take it
I,
easy.
you know, I want to take my
English is
mental health
second
seriously.
language,
Oh, that's
okay?
concentration camp. That's probably going to be really good for my attention.
Oh, this must be about thinking.
Yo, I saw. I was terrified. That's the first I've ever seen how it is.
You didn't know there were that many Jews in the world?
Chad, you gonna get me?
We gotta do something about this.
I was like, shit.
The Ashkenazi enemy is just fucking livid.
They own the media and space lasers? Fuck, Hitler was right. But
That's
anyways,
crazy.
your camp documentary.
It was terrifying. I was watching it at like 1 a.m. in the morning. I was just like, holy shit, that is crazy.
Yeah,
Like they were telling them like, okay, you guys can take a shower now, but no, they're not gonna take a shower. Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh!
it was.
Somebody
No!
showered. Somebody showered now.
They're being showered.
Oh my God.
I mean, they were being showered upon.
I mean, I have night terrors, but this is like different shit. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't. It's.
What part of world history? They skipped a bit of world history in the Philippines.
Well, yeah, they did.
Really?
Nope. They never talk about it. Like Philippine history is all about us trying to like get our country back from the Spaniards, and then the Japanese take over, and then the Americans took over.
It's a good point. Like, we probably wouldn't focus that much attention on it if we didn't participate in World War II.
That's,
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
our
true.
that's an interesting perspective.
we didn't give
I
a
never thought about
shit
that.
about World. Look, there's a reason we don't learn much about World War II until our engagement. Like not a lot of Americans really know the political conflicts that led up to it.
Yeah. It
We just
literally
know that-
starts once
Yeah.
Germany sent that telegram to Mexico.
My history is always like the Philippines
You don't
is
know
always
about that?
speaks
No?
of submissive.
Oh, that's what got us into World War II.
Wait, what?
I thought Pearl Harbor. Because that's
Well,
what
kind of.
I was taught.
Kind of. So it was a conflagration of things. Well, do you remember the whole thing about the Enigma machine?
No.
Okay, so Germany had a code that they would send all their communique around the world, but they'd be in this code. So a bunch of very smart people cracked it using the Enigma machine, and it was a code breaking machine. And I forget. I've been drinking. Obviously, the video will tell you that. But so what happened was Nazi Germany sent a telegraph to Mexico saying, "Hey, chill. Let us use the Gulf of Texas or the Gulf of Mexico to invade the U.S." And who was the president? Was it FDR?
It was probably something like that.
Most of them were. FDR or because Woodrow Wilson was First World War. Anyway, so fuck, who okayed the bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima?
Truman.
I think it was Truman. I think it was Truman. So it was either FDR or Truman got the telegraph, was like, and Mexico was like, I don't think so. And then the bombing of Pearl Harbor, it was FDR because he gave the speech. The day that will live in infamy, it was FDR. And then Truman ended the war with the nuclear bombs.
I don't know. All those white guys look the same.
Look, right, if I'm completely wrong about this, don't email us because I don't fucking care. Where was I going with that?
You were telling us how World War II.
Yeah.
So it was a
Enigma.
combination of Pearl Harbor. So Pearl Harbor got us into the Pacific Ocean, like Douglas MacArthur and all that
Yeah.
shit. But what got us into the Eastern Front was the telegraph from Nazi Germany to Mexico, asking if Mexico would stand down so we could be invaded. And FDR was like, "Oh, fuck no, bitch." And then Winston Churchill got involved. And, yeah. Yep. So, fuck the Mexicans. I don't mean that they did the right thing. Or I don't know if they did. Either way, we intercepted that telegram. But did you know, like international waters, like 50 miles out of North Carolina, there were Nazi U-boats at one point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Nazis were on our shore. They were keeping close tabs on us. Yep. One of them must have landed in fucking South Carolina because that's where all those fucking Nazi dipshits are now.
That's good to know.
But anyway, Filipino food's really good. I love your purple ice cream.
Thank you. It's ube.
It is really hard to put out.
Caro. That's what they call it.
What's your most popular dish?
I'd say it's the lechon kawali. It's a pork belly. I brine it with lemongrass, star anise, salt and pepper, and what is it? Bay leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And then you boil it until it's like a little bit soft. And
Yep.
then you air dry it, put it in the freezer, and then you flash fry it. And it's
Yep.
like the crispiest thing ever.
And that's served over
Crispiest,
rice?
juiciest thing ever. You can pair it with rice. You put some vinegar on it to cut the fat.
How are you serving it? How would you serve it?
Because I've gotten it from you. You serve it in its own. It comes in its own tin. You give it a little vinegar sauce,
Right.
and then you have the side of rice along with the main meal because it's
Well,
a side dish, right?
Yeah, it's a side. Yeah, we usually just cut two slabs of it, fry it, and then cut in small pieces, and just lay it on the container with my spiced vinegar on it.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. I can't
So
wait to try it.
one thing about Filipino food is it's like
It's like really thick light, like light, airy, crunchy bacon.
It's a Filipino version of chicharron.
Chicharrones, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Filipino version of chicharron.
Yeah.
Which you do chicharron.
You can't go wrong with pork belly when you. Well, you can't go wrong with anything you fry.
The fact that the greatest culinary atrocity ever been conducted by the United States was the elimination of pork belly for bacon. Like, there are so many countries that do such amazing things with pork belly. Because that's what bacon is. Bacon is basically just thin cut
When you
pork
take the
belly.
skin, they take the rind out.
And they take the skin off. It's like, well, that's
Which is the
crunchiest,
crispy stuff,
crispiest
yeah.
part. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you've ever had chicharron,
But that's going back to this Eurocentric idea of good meat is lean.
They just don't know how to cook it.
That's my point,
it.
yeah.
That's 100% it. Because I've had Colombian food, I've had Mexican food, I've had Guatemalan, Honduran, Peruvian. They all use that fat back. They use that pork belly, and it is the most
Because that's the flavor.
amazing thing in the world when it's fried right and it's crispy and it's no longer tough. It's like, how did we get from this to the bastardized thing that is bacon? And I love bacon, but pork belly is bacon with extra bacon on top of it. Like, it's bacon cube.
It's,
Fucking colonizers.
Yeah, like pork belly is like pork belly is good when you boil it. Just boil it. After you boil it, you let it air dry. Put some rock salt on it, and then you mix it with like red onions and tomatoes, and you put a little bit of lime.
It's amazing.
That tastes majestic. It's majestic.
It's pork ceviche.
Yeah, you don't even have to like fry it.
No.
You know.
All right, there's a golden retriever on a jet ski.
Oh yeah, that's a good dog. It's my neighbor's Shaq's dog. But yeah, man. Like I was gonna say, like, you know, the challenge for me too is just like Filipino food doesn't really have a lot of like the dishes that would appease for like white folks. Is that bad when I say white folks?
No, I mean, how many times we fucked up the world?
But because they would always say
dare
like, you
you
don't guys
refer to
eat a lot of vegetables. But no, we don't, because we don't really eat a lot of vegetables. But when we do, the vegetable dishes that we make is something that they don't want to eat. That's the problem. But like Filipino food is like, I was talking to one of my friends because I would tell everybody like it's a mix of Spanish, Malaysian, Indonesian, Chinese. But you know, if you talk to somebody who's from here, like, you know, they wouldn't really understand it. So it's like South Carolina barbecue mixed with Chinese food. So, you know, like that's the reference. I guess that's better to introduce how Filipino dishes with a side of rice and pickled vegetables. So, and sometimes like stir-fried noodles, because of course we got that from the Chinese food.
Natural.
Yeah. And of course, the most successful people in the Philippines are Chinese folks.
Well, it's because they've all been pressured to be doctors and lawyers.
I just love his reaction from him.
So
they're good business-minded people.
yeah, sure. Why not? They're taking over the fucking world. So Chibog, we're looking to open mid-September.
Mid-September. Yep.
300.5 Ontario Street, Coes, New York.
Yep.
Takeout. If you could recommend one dish for anybody who was hesitant about Filipino cuisine, but you think it would relate the most, what would it be?
I would recommend lumpia, which is pork egg roll with carrots, jicama, onions, and a lot of love, and you fry it and you dip it with chili sauce, sweet chili sauce, which is really, really good. I would recommend adobo, which is braised pork shoulder in soy sauce and vinegar, bay leaves, and peppercorns. And also, of course, lechon kawale, which is fried pork belly, as he says, like chicharrones. And I have kare kare, which is peanut stewed oxtails. Oxtails and tripe.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know if I've had the oxtail.
You had them. You
Did I?
ordered it. I think.
Oh yeah, no, that's what you brought. when you
No,
came-
no, that's seafood. That's
Oh.
seafood though. Yeah.
Well, I can confirm everything that I've had.
Well, we are excited, and of course the ube.
Ube.
Sit ubu sit. Good dog.
It's just
Um,
thinking about another beer.
Ube with the fruity pebbles, the ice cream that's phenomenal.
And we also have like we're gonna have all the go to Filipino food, but in honor to the old diner Uncle John's, because we know the owner. We really
What is that? What are you talking about?
Uncle John's. The place used to be Uncle John's.
Okay.
It's a diner. So we talked to Jackie, the owner, and then I asked her like, is it okay if we use one of her bestsellers, which she was okay with it. So she says like it's like one of her breakfast sandwiches and corned beef hash.
You're gonna make a Filipino corned beef hash?
Yes, sir.
Bro.
And then and a lot of American breakfast sandwiches and also Filipino sandwiches. Just to pay homage to the place. So.
Why not? That sounds amazing.
If I get crazy, I'm gonna sling some pork chop sandwiches too.
Okay. Won't hear any argument from anybody at this table. Well, we are excited, and we are so happy that you came on and had us to your house and talk about food and everything else we talked about today. And, I'm excited for you to open up the restaurant, and I am so excited for your success because I can't see it going any other way.
Thank you, sir.
So please, we'll do an updated thing when it opens. Yeah, man, we're stoked for you. This is great.
Thank you.
So
Thanks for having me here.
yeah, we're gonna
We'll see you through.
absolutely.
So cool.
We're gonna have some delicious Filipino food.
Well, you know what? Yogi's actually a comeback. We have lots of comeback customers, which is really nice.
That's usually what you want for successful business.
Man. I mean, it's gonna be different because the concept now is like a restaurant.
I mean, it's been really difficult for me to keep coming back. I mean,
It's hard, right? Really
Yeah.
twisting your arm.
But Yogi's one of the first people who came here to like pick up stuff.
I felt bad that you were gonna drive fucking 35 minutes to come give me food.
You're not too far from me. You're in Troy.
No, when I first got it from you, it was in Albany.
Oh, it's not too far from here. Just think.
It was like 25 minutes. It was like you're making all these other orders.
Yeah, I just didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do pickup and delivery. I was like, oh shit, that was a bad idea. But yeah.
Well, everybody, please go check out Chibok, 300.5 Ontario Street, Coes, New York, and
Hopefully, we don't have to wait until September for pop up.
well, we were gonna have it today, but you spilled the
No, it's
fucking
not
barbecue all over the goddamn deck. So, you know.
Well, it's not gonna be a pop-up anywhere. You can just like come there, and then I got something ready for you guys.
Oh well, all right, in that case.
Perfect.
Plus, I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna invite a couple of guys, a couple of peeps to like do a tasting. So you guys
Good.
are gonna be welcome.
I
to come.
certainly fucking hope so. Since we didn't get into that.
For sure.
But anyway, please like, rate, and subscribe on Apple iTunes and Spotify. Please rate because that's fucking helping us a lot. And we love you all, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Take care.
Peace.
Perfect, Champ. Holy shit.
I think my
How
phone
long
stopped
was that?
recording.
2 hours and 40 minutes.
I thought we would never last 2 hours.
Why not?
Why?
We talk mad
You guys
shit.
are awesome.